Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to Aimless Babble Z, episode 407. I'm Chris Hamilton, Ticket Master, joined by.
RPG Maniaco 5. Triaptical?
And Josh?
So, yeah, we've got some what you've been playing. We've got a couple middle segments because reasons. RPG, should he buy a Switch or not? I guess we're going to throw down with some verbal arguments.
I don't want to switch though.
And then RRR, because it's the last week in the month, and then the news. So yeah. What I've been playing, man, I haven't. Okay, so I haven't played anything like in depth or a lot of time put into it to be like, oh man, I checked this out and let me give you my opinions on it. Hot take. I think I played like Destiny one day, which is pretty good for me. Just the usual same old. Just dropped in, saw what Petra's doing, saw what was happening with the blind well, did my little phone call in space to the Queen, and it was a bit okay, I'm not gonna say it's depressing, but it was very demoralizing because I went there and then Petra's all like, "Oh, hey Guardian, same old as last week," or whatever she says, and then I did the phone with Petra, and then my ghost had the nerve to say, "What's the point, man? Why do we even keep doing this?" She never responds, and I'm like, dude, this is like literally my attitude towards the game right now. Like, this is the worst thing for you to say because it makes me not even want to play. And then like, it's like too meta at that point. It's like, me in real life is like, why am I playing this game? This is torture. I hate this game. And I play the game, and the ghost is like, why are we doing this, Guardian? The Queen doesn't respond. This is like a whole waste of time, and you're just been wasting your life with this story hook that's going nowhere, taken for like however many weeks of Forsaken. And I was like, you know what? That was like, okay, I said the last straw of this game many times. That was not the last straw, but that was like, that was just like another deep cut of like, F you, Tekken. We know you hate this game, you can't stop because you're an addict, so have fun trying to come back, or not coming back, but keep coming back, sucker.
I mean, you do keep going back in all fairness.
That is true. This time, though, it's like, I had a reason. My raid team needed me, and I was like, okay, that's not a good reason. I mean, it's a reason, whatever. I guess I just, wanted an out, and I had one. So I was like, yeah, raid team assemble, adventures.
There's always a reason.
Yep, always a reason. I mean, last Wish raid, it was a fun time. It was a fun time, and, I never got, Tyranny of Heaven. I may never get it, but yeah, whatever. Destiny, shenanigans. Always new stuff to do, so, Black Armory. I saw the Vidoc. I'm kind of on it, so whatever. I mean, I'm not it's just not as hyped after Forsaken, because it looks like they're just taking that formula and just like, we're going to give you new stuff to do all the time. So it's a slow drip feed, a slow dribble, as opposed to what it used to be, so yeah, yeah, I don't really like this way compared to the other way. And I like having like, different roles and weapons and armor, but I don't know, it's just things to do, things to chase, but then you don't need them, so it's like there's no reciprocation as far as like, I play this game a lot and there's like stuff going on, but then I kind of don't feel like I need to do any of this stuff because the rewards aren't there and it's not as rewarding, or yeah, I don't enjoy it as much when I'm playing it and I don't get anything, because the state of exotics is like, I'm not even going to get into it, just like I don't know when the last time I saw an exotic drop and then like one that wasn't one I had already. And that's just very soul-crushing to, like, you play and then you're thinking to yourself, but you don't want to say it, just like, oh, I hate this game. And you're just like, an inch away from raging and just like, that's, yeah, whatever, Destiny 2. That's the way it is, whatever. Gran Turismo Sport, I've just been playing that every day for the, like, daily reward car. That game is also, like, being evil to me. It's basically, I can see on the roulette, it's like, there's a Lamborghini, there's a Red Bull car, there's some other sweet ride. And then it's like, hey, here's some rally car that you don't need or want. That's crap. And, oh, it landed on that. What do you know, Tekken? Here you go. Have that. And it's just like, just nothing. Effing nothing. It's just like, man. What else did I play? I haven't played a lot, man. There's like, oh, see, that's the thing. It's like Black Friday deals. I bought a bunch of crap. I didn't play it. Typical Tekken response.
Wait, what did you buy though, then? If that's...
Let's see. Wolfenstein 2 was cheap. Hollow Knight was cheap. Division Gold Edition, $20. all that DLC, delicious. Oh, also, what's that game? Injustice.
FM,
Or not,
what's
yeah,
that game?
Injustice 2. Injustice 2.
Wow.
I've been waiting for like over a year for that to get to $20 with all the DLC, so I can play as the Turtles finally, and it's $20, and it's like, yeah. It's like I waited, I got all the DLC, didn't have to pay $60, and be like, oh man, what a waste of money, because there's even more DLC for like the Gold Edition or whatever, or like $100 for the Ultimate Edition. F that crap, just wait until it's 20. Yeah, like everything I bought was like $20 or less, so you know. Evil Within 2, even though I haven't finished the first game, I kind of need to like reinstate that rule of like if I haven't finished the first game, don't buy the sequel, even if like no matter how cheap it is. But it's $20, dude. It's like you can't say no to $20. That's like, you know,
Of course you
PlayStation
can.
hits.
You just say no.
There's a whole lineup of games on the store. PlayStation hits. It's like $20 and they're awesome. It's like you already know what it is because it's been on the shelves. People have played these games and talked about them and they have review scores and it's like it's not like you're like walking into like some day one release and you're like, oh, I'm not so sure. Here's $60. It's like a third of the price. Like twice as or even 3 times as much is awesome. You know. I even like double dipped on Horizon so I could restream it because the first time I streamed it, my stream crapped out. So
Wait, why would you double dip on it for that?
RPG. It's like it's the complete edition, so it has all the DLC, and I want to play it again and like be on stream and be like, yeah, man, this game, and just like give commentary while I play. It's fun time. It's fun time streaming.
But don't you already own the game and the DLC?
I was just about to say.
Complete edition, a reason to get all the trophies again. It's like, you know, double chocolate or something.
That doesn't make any sense.
Or double.
But yeah, the complete edition is the same as buying both of them separately.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, I don't think it has a separate list of trophies.
Oh, well.
So that was like
That's like a real double dip.
I mean,
Well, hey,
the exact same
supporting
thing
our
twice.
developers, right?
Yeah. Gorilla,
no,
great job.
that's
Keep
not
up
a
the
good
work.
enough excuse.
I mean, I don't think I've done that yet this generation. I did it like too many times last gen, but it's like, you know, this gen, that's like, you know, my favorite game of the generation, so it's like, you know, they're good for it. They deserve it. Pat on the back, here's $20. Keep up the good work. Whatever. It's just a bunch of stuff I probably won't play for like 6 or 12 months. What's the matter, you know? You know, why keep on listing games? But, I was good. I didn't get my yearly DualShock for like $40 because I was looking around and I was like, you know what, I have enough of these. I don't need to get any more. And they didn't have the blueberry, purpley blue one or whatever on sale. And I was like, ah. I mean, that one was going to be like a gift for somebody else, but whatever. And then I can get the other ones cheap eventually anyway, so it's like they go on sale whenever. It's no big deal. And then I tried out PlayStation View, or now I mean not View. Ugh, no, not View. Now, so it's like, you know, that's cool. They got, you know, the streaming, downloading stuff, and I think I might, you know, get like trim a bit off the backlog. Just stick with that for like a while, like not buy anything, and then I'll be good to like be saving up money and not double dipping on games I don't need to double dip on, or Switch games I spend no money on. So that saves me money too. So that being said, Smash Bros. Comes out and I get paid tomorrow, so probably gonna pre-order that, even though Season Pass situation is like got me a bit but it's Nintendo, and like the stages and the music and the characters, like, you know, it's gonna be great. So it's like it's kind of like a guaranteed awesomeness. So it's like, I'll give them a pass. Sorry, I hate to do that, but it's Nintendo, so. But yeah, haven't really been playing too much besides. Yeah, because I haven't played anything on handhelds. I haven't played. I played. Yeah, Spider-Man DLC came out. I haven't played the new one with the Hammerhead or whatever. Yeah. And then like all the stuff I played, multiplayer and co-op, I wasn't playing extensive amounts of to really give any deep dive. You know, conclusions about these things. So yeah, that's all I've been playing really. Nothing.
I went pretty heavy on VR this week. The first one, Beat Saber, came out last week, and it is amazing. Like Tekken, if you like rhythm games and Star Wars, you must get this game.
Okay, time out, Chapter Cole. Like, half of that question makes sense, but half of it doesn't. Like, is it just cool because it's like, oh man, lightsaber is the rhythm? And it's like really just like a lightsaber fan fiction game or something. I mean, yeah, like whole like. Please explain that, because I saw your tweets and like totally confused me. Of like, what is he talking about here?
Well, okay, so yeah, it basically is, you know, Guitar Hero style stuff. Well, it really reminds me of the early days of DDR before people emerged as like these DDR savants and stuff, and you watch those people and it's like, well, I'm never going to be that good. I guess I'm not going to play this anymore. Like, it was like the early days of DDR when everyone played it and it was just like fun, and there weren't people in the arcades putting other people to shame. It was just like, oh, this is so fun. That's what playing Beat Saber feels like to me. It's like, it feels challenging, but you also feel cool doing it. Maybe it helps that you can't see yourself because you're in VR, but like it feels really cool when you're like hitting all the notes, and like essentially it's you're holding two lightsabers or whatever their non-copyright infringing name is for them, and you like cut these blocks that come down in Guitar Hero style at you, and the sort of complexity comes in. The blocks have arrows on them, and those indicate like the direction in which you have to cut through them. And so in a way it feels like dancing, but with lightsabers, because that's what you see. And they do this little thing. It's just like a tiny, tiny touch, but it makes it feel like so awesome. It's just like the move controllers rumble a bit every time you cut through something. So it feels like, oh, there was some resistance, but because it's a lightsaber, of course it just went through. And like when you hold them together, like the rumble is stronger, like two lightsabers like clashing against each other. It's like, oh, this is awesome. And it's like, it is, I don't know, like,
yeah, you play it and you're like, man, missed opportunity, EA, what the F? Where's my lightsaber game in VR?
It is so weird that they have not released more Star Wars stuff in VR. Like,
yeah,
that's the two things. Like, I feel like that's where Beat Saber comes from. Like, they saw the success of Thumper early on, and they were like, oh, cool, rhythm games, it looks like they're really good in VR. And they were thinking, well, what do I want to do in VR? It's like, well, I want a lightsaber. And then they combined that together, and then they made Beat Saber. Probably not the story, but it sounds convincing to me.
That was definitely the story.
And yeah, it is just, it's so awesome. Like all things in VR, I guess it's difficult to describe if that did not sell you. But yeah, like once you've played it, it's like, oh, it's so cool. Apparently the PS4 version has things that the PC version didn't have. And they're going to add those things to the PC version. But so for right now, there's an actual campaign mode where you play through the collection of songs included with the game. And I think they're like a mixture of licensed and original pieces, and I don't really know how to describe the genre, but it's just, the game is amazing. Yeah, they add all these little challenges and stuff. The one I'm stuck on right now, so the game actually measures how far your hands move during a song. So it's something like, if you cut through the block near the center, you get 100 points. And then, how does it work? Or no, you get full score for like cutting through it with a full arm motion rather than just, Wii Sports style, like waving your wrists around. And it like describes like the angles which it has to go through and the angle which it has to exit. It's like a 90-degree exit, so it has to be perpendicular to the cut or something. Yeah.
Wait.
The
So
point
it's
of
like,
contact.
so like the point system is based on precision on your cuts.
Yeah.
That's
So it's
pretty
like
cool.
based on like actually making the full cutting motion with the follow through, and then also how close to the center it is, and you get between 0 and 25 more points depending on how close to the center you cut through it. And then some of the stages in the campaign like measure how much distance your hands have traveled throughout the song, and you have to like make a minimum amount in order to clear that level. And those were like, you figure out pretty easily that, okay, you can do this. The one I'm stuck on is there is a maximum amount of distance that your hands can move. So it's suddenly asking you to do the exact opposite and just like move your hands as little as possible, but still do all the cuts. Otherwise, just like all the rhythm games, you run out of energy, mission is over, you have to try again.
So how accurate do you think the move controllers are?
It feels 100% accurate,
Okay.
or at least
That-
in the high 90s.
Yeah, that straddles the line between either being annoying or being really, really fun. It
Yeah.
seems like it's going right into that really fun rather than being annoying from not being accurate enough to, make you lose points because it's measuring that you're going too far left or too far right.
Yeah. I mean, as far as that is concerned, and I haven't really measured it in any scientific way, but the way that I perceive it is sort of like there are certain levels where you only get to see the arrows for a brief moment and then they disappear as they approach you. And so for those levels you have to look into the distance, and so you can't really pay attention to the things that are right in front of you that you're cutting. And so judging from the fact that I can it doesn't say I missed any of those cuts, even though I'm not looking at my hands where I'm cutting them, that to me says that it's accurate enough that you just naturally where my hands are, where I expected them to be, that's where they were.
Yeah.
And it worked out, and I was like, oh, yeah, it seems like it's working really well.
Because I'm not big on move controls because of how wonky, especially the Wii was.
Mm.
But this sounds like PSVR's kind of upgraded it,
Yeah, just the completely different way that they use it. I mean, it's basically the same for the machine. It's just watching where they are and how you're moving them. But then for you, it's just it feels like it's just your hands. Or in this case, you're holding lightsabers, so it makes perfect sense that you're holding this cylindrical object in your hands and doing this stuff. And it's amazing. Tekken, you gotta get it. Full price, it doesn't matter.
I don't know, dude. $30. I think I'll.
Yes, $30.
Yeah.
Come on.
$30.
Do it.
I mean, that's not that
Do
bad.
it.
I was just talking about $20. That's $10 more. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
And it is so good. That is the thing. It is so good. I'd watched video of it before. People were going crazy over this game, and I just kept hearing about it. And I was watching the footage on the Vive and Rift, and it's just well, I mean, I understand. I guess it's it's a music game, and you have lightsabers. That's cool, I guess. But it wasn't until I actually played it, and after I played it, I was like, oh, I get it. It is so good, and I guess it's these little things, but yeah, it's just the way it makes you feel, and just all the design features that make you feel that way. It's oh, it's so good.
Yeah, this is one of the games I see really breaking into the mainstream, especially for VR, because I see a lot of videos on Instagram or Facebook where people are playing it. Maybe people who aren't necessarily hardcore gamers, but it's one of those things that all rhythm games really tie, is that they're really able to easily break into the mainstream and get to the casual player, just like Guitar Hero did back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, for casuals, it's the idea is really simple. It's just oh, you just cut the blocks and follow the arrows, and there's a little bit more complexity once you get into it, but the basics are really simple for them to get into or for them to understand. It's just not most casuals. I think they come into a game and the first thing they ask is, "What am I supposed to do?" And this is it has a very simple goal to explain, and then you get into it. It's oh.
Now, is there any motion sickness with this one, or is there anything that can kind of hold you back from it?
Not really. So this is one of those games where you in the real world and you in the game are basically stationary. You're standing on a platform, and so the role of VR is basically a large screen that extends in every direction that you look, and so it's just all around you. And, it's just standing in the middle of a room, except it's a virtually created room. So there really isn't any... I don't think there should be any, concerns about motion sickness, because nothing is moving, or you're not moving. It's just, blocks moving towards you.
Also, side note about VR. Eladia did end up trying it, and she loved it tropical. But she only played 2 games. She played...
Which ones?
Tetris Effect and Until Dawn Rush of Blood, and then she's like,
Oh my god.
and then she's playing it. And
Horror
she's
movie.
like, Chris, you gotta try this. I'm like, dude, don't like scary things. This is a trap. She's like, just put it on. And then like, there's this part where like, as like hooks in the saws that you like have to dodge physically to like not take damage. I thought that was pretty cool. And that's
That part, like, I've only seen video, and it's just like imagining it feels really awful. It's just like the screeching of the pigs, and
yeah, man.
the saw sounds are really loud. It's just like,
But it was kind of
Wow.
neat playing it because it kind of felt like a bit like Nick Arcade, like the promise of that, like actually made into like what it could be, and not like cheesy and lame.
I mean, yeah, I talked about it on the show. I can't even get to the title screen of Rush of Blood. That first hallway where they're showing like who made the game was like, no, it's too terrifying. There's a jump scare in that section
it was great
before you
'cause,
get
like,
to the title screen.
Because like she's like looking around the like haunted funhouse thing, and she's like, "Oh man, this looks exactly like a haunted funhouse would." And then like a couple of seconds later, she's like, "Holy crap!" And just like freaking out like some like jump scare. She's like, "Oh man, I knew that was a jump scare, but it still got me." And I thought that was great.
It's like, did she play the whole first level?
Yeah, she played up
Okay.
until the pig thing, and then she's like, "Okay, I'll try something else now."
Yeah, it's like there's a scene where it's the cart stops, I think, and you're just like looking around, and then 1 minute you look and there's nothing there, and the next minute it's the dead sisters, and they're really close to you. That one.
Yeah, that freaked me out too. It did that like at the beginning of that stage with the pigs, because I was like, I didn't
Yeah.
know that was in there as far as like
Yeah.
weird ring ghosty synthy or sylphy lady ghost people, and that was like, I don't know if I can play the rest of those because I know this is in here now.
What I've heard about Until Dawn is like it's scarier in a sense because it doesn't have rules. Well, like Resident Evil kind of has rules, right? Zombies are a certain way, the creatures are a certain way, they're biohazard, so they're like real, and they have to like follow the laws of physics to an extent, if not biology. Whereas like Until Dawn is just like, oh, we don't care. There's not like one jump scare in the game where it's just like a spirit pops out in front of you, and if you play through the whole game, it's like, that's not. There are no spirits in the game.
There could be. There could be.
Oh man. Oh yeah, and Tetris Effect.
Also, we came up with a good way to get around the crappy earbud thing on VR. It's like if you just turn up the volume all the way and then like loop them on your ears and don't put them in, and it like basically is good enough to like get around that.
Huh.
If you don't want to pay $100 for a gold headset, like just for VR.
You can use any headset really.
Any headset?
Yeah, I use the old golds and they work. And then when I show off the VR to people, I have like this crappy. I have no idea how much it costs, but it came with a T-shirt like headset that I use, and it works just fine.
Does it work for the Platinum headset?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'll have to try that.
Because there's the way that the PlayStation headsets are all shaped, like there's enough space that you can get through.
I don't know, dude. I didn't want to like try it and then have something break. So I was like, I mean, don't worry about that.
VR like it feels very different this year. By the end of this year, like VR feels like it did feel kind of tech demo in the beginning, even though there were full games, but the coolest stuff was all sort of tech demo-y. And now there's like full length, really cool stuff. Like Beat Saber, I've been playing every day.
I was annoyed because I was looking on my game list and I didn't know I had Unearthing Mars, and the sequel was like on sale for 50% off for the Black Friday, and I didn't buy it. And I was like, I could have both of them. Oh well.
That one's a weird game. The second one is totally different than the first one.
Ew, well.
But yeah, like the other thing I played. Well, so I went back and played a ton of the VR mission in Star Wars Battlefront, and still, like graphically, it just looks amazing, and it's just baffling that has not been turned into a full game. Like if they don't announce a full game for that, I'm just like, why? It ends like like it's gonna be with the suggestion that there could be all these different adventures for this wing group, and nothing. It's been out so long, nothing. Dropping the ball. EA. Two different things. There's no lightsaber thing, and a full game of that VR mission stuff, like that would be incredible. No, like the main other thing I played through was Moss, which is like it's a 3D platformer, but in VR. So you're sort of sitting back, and there's kind of like this miniature diorama in front of you, and you control a little mouse that runs around it, and there's like combat and stuff, and it just, I don't know, it's really amazing. It reminds me of those figurines that old people collect. They're like little furry mice type figures.
Little
what are they
furry
called?
mice, tropical.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. He's
They're
talking
like
about those little weird porcelain-looking things.
Yeah, kind of. There's like the little cute babies type.
And they sometimes have
But
like
this is like
little
animals.
saying thingies at the bottom and stuff like that. Yeah, old people collect weird stuff. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
It reminds me of that. Just the way everything looks, except the little furry characters, like they feel so alive, and I don't know if it's like the animation or what they did. But yeah, the whole experience is so immersive, and it's like you are a character in the game. You are the reader, and I guess that means like you're the person reading this book, because it starts off and you're sort of in this empty hall that looks like something out of Harry Potter, and there's like this big book in front of you, and you open it by moving the DualShock 4, so the game actually tracks the light on your controller, and you use it to like grab things in the environment and interact with them. So you have a role doing that kind of stuff, and then in addition to that, you also control the mouse character Quinn in the game with regular 3D platforming controls, and it works super well. And like I had heard that Moss was good, and usually that means when you play the game, it's not as good as you heard. Like the hype always overshadows what it actually is, and yet the game was actually better than I thought it was based on what I'd heard about it. And I'm trying to remember, is that because I didn't really hear that much, except that it was good, or because, and that means like I was able to be surprised by the game at various states. But yeah, Moss, also highly recommended. It's pretty short. I think it's on sale right now on the PlayStation Store as well for like 20, I think.
22 for the game and the soundtrack. I don't know what the normal prices are, like just the game.
Yeah, it started at 30. I think 30 is like the sort of premium price for VR games right now. At the beginning, Eve, CCP was like, oh, we can charge 60 for Eve Valkyrie. And yes, people bought it. I bought it during a pricing error, and so it was like less than $20. And then now all those are really cheap, and like the big marquee games that are coming out, besides Resident Evil 7, I think maybe Resident Evil 7 broke the pricing curve. They came out and they were $60, and now everyone else is like, well, if we're not Resident Evil 7 type of value and production quality, then we can't be 60, because people will laugh at us. And so, yeah, 40 is the new 60 for VR.
I feel like that's a good space for them. Just to get people to get into it, because VR, I think it's at 2 million units sold so far, so it's not doing too hot, but it's not failing, it's not bombing, which is good. They just need to incubate more games, more Mosses, more Tetris effects, more of these really good games that show everyone why I should I should buy a PSVR.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's what I was talking about earlier, where it's like it feels very different for the VR library right now. in the beginning, I would play the X-Wing mission. That's like one mission, which was a free add-on to a $60 game. And he's like, does that seem worth it to anyone? Probably not. But now there's like full things that you can go out and be like, yes, I want to buy this thing because of these games. And yeah, it's just in addition, like there's just more of them. Like there was a good boxing game before Creed, but now there's 2 good boxing games because Creed is out. It was like Moss was like the 3 platformer for PSVR. So it's like, oh, it's so good. And now there's Astrobot, which I've heard way more praise for than Moss got back in the day. It's like,
Yeah, I've heard wonderful things about that.
Yeah, it's like having played Moss, I can't imagine what Astrobot is like because the hype has been crazy this past few months.
I remember back when this first came out, I think Call of Duty even released a level, like a space level through VR.
Yep.
And that's very gimmicky. That's the stuff that we don't want to do. We want to make this innovative. This needs to be the new, Nintendo DS. This needs to be like analog sticks getting added to the controller. This needs to be the new way to play. Not additive onto other things.
I think on that point, like some of the other early stuff was really cool, but there were problems, and they felt really experimental because everything was experiments in the beginning. Whereas now, some of the issues that they came across in the beginning are just gone, in the best games anyway. So it feels like now is the time. VR is doing quite well. To be fair, the Call of Duty thing and the Star Wars thing are kind of the same, but Star Wars is Star Wars.
Star Wars is Star Wars.
It's just like it just feels so much better. Because I have both of them. I was like, they're kind of the same. You fly out, you do a short mission where you shoot a lot of stuff, and you fly around some big ships, and it looks really cool. But this one has John Williams' score in it, and it has those sounds, and this button on the right where you can pull up the targeting computer, and come on!
And the other one's just generic. It's crazy.
Yeah, the other one's like, it's just ships. Amazing stuff for VR right now. So yeah, Tekken, you need to play more. Do it. Now's the time. RPG, you should get PSVR.
I'm not going to spit on VR games. Sorry. Especially this time of year when like all the heavy hitters are coming out. Red Dead Redemption 2 says I. Just saying.
Have you played
That's
Red
just
Dead Redemption
one
2?
game.
Not since I got past the tutorial stage. No.
So then what's the problem?
I'm just saying it's more appetizing than VR stuff. Just saying. It's like, would you rather Red Dead Redemption 2, the sequel to one of my most favorite games ever, or VR game that might be hit or miss? Just saying. I mean, it's $30, but is it gonna be as good? Probably not.
I'm telling you, they are hits. And that's not me talking. That's what I've heard, and then I played them, and it's like, I agree.
He agrees,
Well,
man.
cool.
So
You
it
do
can't
like
be wrong.
everything, so that's like halfway taken with the Garian assault. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's not wrong about that either. Actually,
But I know that you like DDR, and there was that game back in the day called Beat Hazard,
Oh yeah.
right? That you really
That
liked.
was a fun game. I think they made a
So this
sequel.
doesn't have custom soundtracks, but it's
scratches
like
that
early
itch.
day
Yeah,
DDR. Yeah, it's like it's so good.
I even wanted to get that new Taiko Drum Master game, but
Yeah.
I didn't get it, so I'll have to check that out too.
Beat Saber. Get it tonight. Play it.
I'll
It's
take
so
one.
good.
oh my,
I don't have
Get some
infinite
mileage
money,
on your
John. Well, I'm
moves.
not a bank.
you could be.
Get it tomorrow.
Get it tomorrow. Oh dear.
It's really good.
I mean, it might be on sale.
It was when it was like pre-order, but nah, whatever. It's $30. I'll probably end up with it by the end of the month, or next month anyway, 'cause it's almost a new month. So.
Yes, you should buy it tomorrow. By the end of the month. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I've been playing.
RPG.
I haven't really played much of anything, to tell you the truth.
Too busy. I was about to say too busy cooking and making food in your air fryer shenanigans.
Hey, shut up.
Did you get the waffle iron?
I didn't get the waffle iron. No,
Oh.
I didn't find one that I liked, so I just got the air fryer and the Instant Pot. So
Instant Pot is fun.
well, I'm gonna find out how fun soon enough. I just have to figure out what I want to do with it, and then I'll just do a bunch of random crap with it. Because reasons and science and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I've mostly just been just the same stuff I was doing last week. Is just like power leveling in the games I have right now, just to kind of so I can just kind of blaze through some of this stuff, so I don't have to do any like extra work later on.
No,
but
you didn't play any more of the story so far to reminisce before the main course arrives.
well, no, I have been playing Kingdom Hearts, obviously, because Kingdom Hearts. But I mean, haven't done anything special in there. I mean, I finished point two, so there's that. But I mean, since they started showing stuff for Kingdom Hearts 3, though, like I'm assuming a lot of the stuff that they can point to just isn't even. It's not even relevant anymore. So it's kind of pointless. But I haven't really been doing anything special, so just usual stuff. Until
You kind of have been like, asking for suggestions or like, what are your thoughts, guys? Should I buy a Switch or not on Twitter? And then like starting Twitter fights. I'm just saying. I mean, it wasn't really a fight. It was more of a discussion. Whatever.
I asked a simple
We're still friends.
question. I mean, you guys decided to start fighting. That's on you,
That
not
wasn't
me.
a fight. It was a court case that many
I forget,
ballot
like-
points were made on both sides. So there you go.
Which way was the initial question? Was it to convince you or to convince you not to?
Convince him not to.
I don't.
Okay.
And then Dagger
Then-
was all like, well, let me tell you about all these games that you don't need to play that you might like.
That you'll probably like.
And I was like,
I
you
mean-
might not like that because you probably don't like that type of thing. I'm just saying. Xenoblade, remember that? Yeah. She said
I do
Xenoblade
remember
Chronicles 2,
that.
and I was like, I remember him not liking that game. You are a bad friend. I mean, I didn't say that, but,
Horrible.
to his own.
Only on tape.
I mean, in all fairness, though, I heard Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was a lot different than the first one, and also better. So there's probably that, but that's not saying much because the first one wasn't that great. So there's that as well. So, yeah. But who knows? I mean, there's stuff I want, but I guess we'll get to that soon enough. But I haven't really been playing much, so that is all.
So you're just taking a break to relax the thumbs and all the other sensory organs before the fun time?
Well, not only that. I with holiday season coming up
Oh,
soon, it's going to be a
yeah,
very
that.
busy life stuff. So
In your superhero alter ego form.
I have to rest. Before the fun starts. So that.
Okay, well, RPG apparently didn't play anything except for not a lot of anything. So yeah,
I didn't. I'm sorry, fans. I'm sorry.
so I guess we can go into middle segment number 1. Is middle
This is
segment number
some
1 the
proper-
Switch thing?
Did Josh play anything?
Did you-
Oh,
that
my
was
bad.
just
I'm
okay.
sorry. That's
Oh
that
my
is all
gosh.
me. That is all me. That's my fault.
All right, so I played a lot of stuff. Man, I got so much time on my hands, and I just
That's
recently
nice.
got yeah. Oh man, and what better season to have a lot of off time than the holiday season? Well, this holiday season hasn't been the hottest. I would give it a hotness rating of at least 6 out of 10. You know, we've gotten some good things. We've gotten some good things.
What's happening?
So, first to start out, I got Hitman 2.
Oh yeah.
And Hitman 2 is a very fun game, very fun continuation of Hitman. It's still got all the same stuff there. You are put in a giant sandbox level. You have a lot of weapons around, a lot of miscellaneous items like poisons and whatnot, and other disguises. And, it's just a creative little sandbox, and you have to take out your target in whatever way possible. And I think for my first mission, just going around, walking around, just trying to get the lay of the land and everything like that, overhearing little tidbits of story on, this guy, her car's not really working, so maybe I can go that route. Or, this guy, he really likes to go to this food stand, so maybe I can go and take out the vendor there and wear his disguise. I think in my first mission, I played through it in 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, so... And I took a few breaks. I had to go get some food, go get a couple drinks. And I'll be honest, the worlds really feel lived in, and I would say that's pretty hard for a sandbox level and all this AI. They do their normal things, they have their routes, and the funnest part about it is just learning that level in and out, learning every way that you can take these guys out. Because I think for every mission, there must be 9 ways to take them out through the level and the world. There's other ways of you taking out their guards, and you just get up behind them, snap their neck, or shoot them, or do stuff like that. But Hitman 2, very fun, very fun. It's only got 5 levels in it, which, it's a little bit on the shorter side. I would not recommend it to everybody, especially for $60. I would wait till maybe a sale goes on, but it's a very fun game. If you like that kind of game, I would go for it on the $60 side. But that's one game I've been playing.
I think you can actually get it for $30 right now.
Has it already gone on sale with the Black Friday stuff?
Yeah, various places I saw today had it for $30.
Okay. Well, that's still nice. I know if you have one thing that I really like about it is if you have the first game, then all the levels load up through the UI of the second game. So you can just pop in the disc of the second game, and all of them are there. You can play through all of them, which is pretty fun. I didn't get a test if you could unlock items and bring it into the other levels, but that would still be another cool feature. That's one of my gripes about it, because they did it on this episodic basis. There's no platinum to the game, which...
Oh, really?
Yeah, no platinum. They're each in their own DLC pack kind of things. Yeah, so it's pretty weird, but still very, very fun game. My second game, this is a tragedy right here. This story. So I'm a big fan of Battlefield 1. Battlefield 5 did not look good coming out the gate. The trailer at E3 was downright pathetic. They showed like maybe 5 minutes, 5-minute trailer, like 2 minutes of actual gameplay. And so I was not excited for this. But I was, if it just gives me more Battlefield 1, that should be fine. That's all I need. So I loaded up Battlefield 5, and already out the gate, it was just disappointing. We have almost no weapons, no customization. We have like 4 to 6 maps, and it just feels like a reskin of Battlefield 1. It feels like all the same things are there, but there's a lot less of it, so that they can give you free DLC every month. And that's one of EA's big things ever since Battlefront 2 and their whole season pass fiasco, where they stopped doing season passes because of the outrage over it. They're starting to do free DLC every month, but the base game just feels so dull and so empty that I understand why they're doing free DLC. It's because they didn't. And I don't want to say they don't work on the game. I don't want to say they don't work on the game. Obviously, very hard-working developers out there put their heart in that game, but it already got delayed. And you get the game and it's just empty. I want to say there's 3 tanks in the total game for each faction, which there are only 2 factions. There's the Allies and the Axis. So there's 6 total tanks, 6 total planes, and maybe 6 guns per weapon slot. So 24 to 48 total guns. And of course you got your base customization things such as paints and camos and all that, but not really much else. There's no accessories or attachments or anything like that. And the game just on whole feels empty. So for Battlefield 5, I played it for maybe 5 hours, and I already wanted my money back.
Yeah, I would say there's
That's not a good
a lot of
endorsement.
games where they come out and it just feels like they're just padding it out for time. Like Destiny 2 for sure. Like I kind of felt that like way, not in Forsaken itself, but it's just like if that's the route they're going to go, where it's like you have the base game and you're just building on top of it slowly. Like it's like like when I play that, I just feel like as I play, I'm just like, this isn't for me, because like I like to just play through the story, get to the end, enjoy the end game. But like the way that they like just drip feed the end game out now, it's just like torture. And then also like Battlefront 2, like or Star Wars Battlefront 2, it kind of feels like they did that too. Where like you have the base game, but they had to like do all that like persona non grata as far as like after like the backlash of the like release and stuff. Where like they had to like add on top of like what was already there in the base game, which wasn't that great anyway. To where like now you have like years later they're still like adding on with like they're padding out of like, well, we got Geonosis coming, we got Clone Wars coming, and it's just like, dude, does anybody even play this game still? It's just like the casual audience that was there that was like really into that, and like you kind of like ruined it because you just didn't do a good job at the beginning. It's like moved on to something else, and you kind of just like shot yourself in the foot. And it's just that's like one of my major pet peeves right now in the industry is like so many developers like doing this to where it's like they have to just a really bad launch if they just like would not. I mean, I don't know who's to blame. Publishers that are just like greedy or whatever and just like want to get like all these monies off the microtransactions, or if it's like the developer and they're just like, whatever, dude, and just like get it out the door and we'll just like add on later. Just add it on. We'll just patch it in. We'll just patch it in later, like slowly but surely, gigs and gigs of patches. And then it's just a mess. It's just a mess, and just like even Division 1, like the I got the gold edition with like all the stuff in it. But like that's how long after the first game came out, and it's like, or after that came out was like without that stuff in it. So it's like, to me, that's like another reason why I just like wait for all these like air quote complete / Game of the Year editions with like all the things in them. So you're not just like waiting after day one and you put your $60 down to like be like, okay, maybe it will be good, maybe it won't be good, maybe it'll get better, maybe it's not a mess at launch. Like it's just too, the stakes are too high now, and like there's just so many examples of just like blowing up on the launch pad when your game ships, and it's just like it's terrible. It's a mess. I'm gonna need your more money.
I attribute a lot of that to, I feel it's Ubisoft, because Ubisoft, a lot of their games are notorious for that, just flopping on launch and then fixing things later on. And I say this being a big fan of Ubisoft. I love Rainbow Six Siege, and that's one of the biggest examples of that, of where on launch it was a buggy mess, everything cost too much. I think in the in-game currency you might gain maybe 300 of their in-game currency every 30 to 40 minutes of gameplay, and for like just a red dot site it was 250 of their in-game money. Are you telling me I have to play 40 minutes to get a red dot site? Like, everything was overpriced, and eventually down the line, I think it must have been a year later, they made all the base game stuff free and just started adding on supplemental content that you could pay real money for or use the in-game currency for, which personally, for like Tekken, you and Destiny, that's me and Rainbow Six Siege. I'll pop in once a week, play a game. It's my game that I play not all the time, but it's my long-running game. But I feel Ubisoft really made a precedent that you can get away with that. You can make a terrible game up front and then fix it later on, and everyone will be fine. You'll earn a lot of goodwill with that. Yeah.
Actually, well, I mean, I doubt that they, put in minimal effort for the initial launch. It's just that, like, the way I see it is that's actually a good thing, because I've bought a lot of games that were not these big publishers, where it came out and it wasn't that great. And then since they weren't big publishers, like they basically had to come out and say, well, especially like online ones, like, well, we can't support it anymore because no one's playing it, and so it's just gone. And so
isn't that how you lost Paragon? I'm just saying.
Well, I lost Paragon because they had another thing that was making so much money. Like it. Even I had to be like, okay, that makes sense. Versus the biggest game in the world right now, like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And I think this year, like you can kind of draw a line in the sand, because if you look at Monster Hunter World, that game has had so much free content, and like none of that crap we've had to pay for, and it's like been coming out on a consistent basis. I can go back to that game and play it and have something new to do, and like new monsters to hunt, new armor to get, new whatever, and it's a fun time, and it never gets old, and it's so well designed. That game, in my opinion, has like not enough praise this year for like what it's done. Sure, the story's not there, but like gameplay, it is aces. It's just like amazing, top notch. Nothing else comes close. And like the customizable radial menu, like that alone to me is just like the secret sauce, like crossbow garbage everybody wants to have in their game. That's like on the good side of like, why isn't anybody else doing this? I hope more people play it and like see how good it is, and just like everybody else sees how like they're dropping the ball and just should be doing what Capcom did with, which is like another surprising thing. Like of all people, Capcom, who's just like Street Fighter 5, like don't even talk to me of like what they did to that game, and just like, ugh, whatever, abomination, and just Monster Hunter was a home run, and I'm glad it like sold as much as it did, and it was a success. And now people can see this is what you should do for a game if you want to like have it come out and just build on top and not just pad it out and be complete filler garbage for like 6 to 12 months of like, oh man, it's kind of okay, but it's like, no, that's not the bar. The bar is not, it's okay. It's like, I want an amazing experience. Go for yourself.
Yeah, like,
Right.
I think the others, they definitely would have wanted to do that. They just messed up, and it didn't work out for whatever reason. And then, yeah, like, I had Lawbreakers, I had Evolve, I had, like, how many of these games that came from smaller publishers that they're like, they came out and they weren't that great, and then they just died,
Remember Battleborn?
and there was nothing I could do.
Battleborn.
Battleborn! I got Battleborn at launch, too. Like, all those games are just like, oh, you know, they didn't do as well as we thought, and, you know, part of that is issues with the game, and instead of, you know, EA and Ubisoft, like, and, like, Blizzard with Diablo 3, like, instead of being able to go back in and be like, all right, we got to rework something and change it entirely, these smaller publishers are just like, we can't do, there's nothing we can do, so it's just shut down, and we're sorry, you know, you spent your $60, but it's just gone. We spent it already. And then, yeah, I've talked about the Paragon situation where it's like, Fortnite money, let them give me a refund for all the money I spent in Paragon, so.
Paragon.
So
Gone before
sad.
it should have been.
So sad.
And maybe I am being hard on Battlefield 5 just because of how much I love Battlefield 1. I was expecting this to just be another hit out of the gate, especially when in the shooter realm, Call of Duty was just being stale with, I think Infinite Warfare came out at that time. And after the flop of Battlefront 2, I was expecting them to just get right back into the zeitgeist and really know what the gamers want. But in this case, they really just didn't. I mean, they're also coming out with a Battle Royale mode that's not even launching until next year.
Next year,
Which is another. I mean, even if that was the saving grace, which it clearly isn't, because I don't feel like it's going to be anything unique or special. There's just so many other problems with the game. Of, you know, it was super buggy during the beta, and I feel like that's why they delayed it. But with the lack of content, there's nothing really tying me to go back in and be like, why should I play this? You know, versus any other game. And it really does feel like this could have been DLC content for Battlefield 1. The UI is pretty much the same. No new mechanics that are, you know, innovative or anything like that. And I know with their Battle Royale mode that's coming out, I believe it was supposed to be 4 teams of, or 16 teams of 4, which means there's no like single or duos mode or anything like that. So it's all squad based. But it still just feels like a bunch of missed opportunities. And one of the biggest tells to me was that their single-player content is vignettes or like little stories, little self-contained stories, and they have 3 of them, and the 4th one says it's coming out December 4th. Which already right there, they're like, okay, you know what, they knew that they had this, and they're just padding out for that free content.
wow.
So,
I didn't know any of this about that one.
yeah, Battlefield's, I was excited for the prospects. I knew that it could end up in disappointment. And oh man, did it end up in disappointment. So, aside from that, the next game been playing, I actually got on the PSN Black Friday sale. It was Hollow Knight Void Heart Edition, which has been extremely fun. I actually picked it up on the Switch a while back, but I just couldn't get into it for plenty of other reasons. We'll probably go into that in the debate on whether you guys should buy the Switch or not. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So I ended up buying it for like $7 on PSN, and oh man, on PlayStation it feels right at home. I really like it. It's a 2D platformer. It feels a little different than most other platformers in the fact that anytime you hit an enemy, it nudges you back a little bit. So that's kind of a big gameplay hook of, say you're on a platform, there are spikes below you, you jump and hit an enemy, and it pushes you back off of that platform. You just got to really watch your positioning and everything like that. And then it also has a really dark atmosphere, kind of like the Dark Souls games or Soulsborne games, which I'm a big fan of. I love From Software as well. Oh man, Dark Souls 2 to an extent, Bloodborne and all those kind of games, but it really does have that kind of atmosphere. And then also it has a similar mechanic of the more enemies you kill, the more your souls meter fills, and that is what allows you to heal and also shoot out projectiles. So there's a little bit of risk reward. If you hit an enemy, you get a little bit of soul from them, and you can either use that as a projectile, which of course you play as a relatively small character, so you can be overpowered by many enemies or a much bigger enemy. There's no dashing or dodging. You are just jumping or having to back up, run away from enemies. So it is a little bit of a harder platformer and a little bit of a harder game. I've beaten, I believe, 3 bosses, and already I'm hitting a major uptick of difficulty, and it's really getting hard. So I wouldn't say this is for the faint of heart, but for $7, I would just recommend anyone to buy it. And other than that, let's see, are there any other major games I have been playing? Thinking, bought a few other games, but I haven't played them. Still got so many games on the backlog. I think that's about it for me.
As a side note, Battlefield 5 also dropped to $30 this week.
That's too much. Still too much.
Actually, didn't Fallout 76 also price drop?
Yes.
It got,
Fallout 76 dropped down to
bombarded with,
35.
reviews. Oh wait, speaking of games that are crap at launch, there you go. Fallout 76, Bethesda. Ha, suck it. Yeah.
I still choose to believe that, people realized, wait, this is what we've been playing, when they were all brought together.
Now, has anyone else played Fallout 76?
No.
I have not. I'm not a fan of the series.
You're not a fan of the series? I rented that from Redbox because I knew I immediately knew I wasn't going to like it, but I didn't want to bash it without having played it. I played to level 10, did a couple of story missions, and oh my god, is the game bad. And it's not really that it's bad. It's a lot more Fallout 4, and I wasn't a big fan of Fallout 4. I really do like Fallout 3 New Vegas. Those ones are the ones that really made the series for me. But it is a lot more of Fallout 4, and it's boring. It's really boring. The world feels kind of dead and empty. There are no NPCs.
Yeah.
Everything's given through terminals and logs and audio logs. Robots, yeah. Because apparently, the whole world is dead, and there's just no people except for the people in the world. And even then, I think the servers are dedicated to maybe like 20 people at a time. And with such a big map, more than often than not, people are just spread out. But that's another game that I do not like. If you really like Fallout 4 and the mechanics behind it, like the building, you wanna play The Sims, but in Fallout, this is your game.
I just like, personal note, after so many years, I mean, I don't want to say I was hating on Bethesda, but I've kind of been hating on Bethesda. I feel vindicated, because it's like, oh man, they don't look great, they don't play great, their games are kind of, I would say, overrated, and then they, have a turd, and it's like, haha, suck it. Guess what? I've been saying this all along, and now you can all just, whatever with that, and yeah, taking the winner, like always.
A little side note against that, I recently played through Doom, and I gotta give a lot of props to Bethesda for doing that. So
Doom was amazing.
I don't want to believe they're a terrible company, but some of their decisions, what, maybe it's just Bethesda Softworks team, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking
Yeah,
about
I think it's
open world
theirs.
into a lifeless, soulless world with like nothing to do and no amazing characters or anything to like compel you to continue forward after you've exited the vault or exited some prison, and you're just like, yeah, I'm just some person in some world, and it's like, yeah, stuff's going down. It doesn't look amazing or really play amazing, but everybody else says it's amazing. I guess I just got swept into the hype and drank the Kool-Aid.
You are describing Fallout 4 in a nutshell right there. God, that is just... It should be on the back of the box.
Yeah, but they're revamps of Doom and Wolfenstein. I haven't played them as extensively as I'd like to, but I've bought them, so it's down
My God,
in my well.
Doom is very
Doom
fun.
is so good.
I say, I'll be honest, I'm a big multiplayer kind of guy, and I would say very underrated multiplayer. Just kind of like the Last of Us multiplayer, but it's got that specific Quake feel to it of being fast, arcadey, no reloading. Servers are pretty dead right now, so hopefully they bring it back with Doom Eternal.
It was nice to see the arcade come back a bit when those came out. It was
Yeah.
old style, like Doom, Unreal Tournament.
It's very jarring after so many years of Call of Duty and Battlefield.
I know. It's like regenerating health. Like, I remember I was in the minority when that happened, and like you could see like what was happening in front of you, and it's like, no, but I like the way it was before in the old style, and it just like went away for so long, and then it came back, and then yeah, that was the thing. Is that what you've been playing, Josh?
That is all I've played.
All right. Well, we'll just leave this Bethesda corpse on the side of the road and continue on to this middle segment.
Oh my.
Let's get RPG a Switch or not.
So, RPG, what compelled you to be like, I know what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna ask my internet friends and see if I can start an internet fight.
Oh my goodness! I told you that was not. That was not the intention. You guys decided to start fighting on your own.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up my Twitter feed because Dagger came out with some like I'm not even gonna call them heavy hitter titles because they're just like embarrassing. And I was like, is this your king? It's like, what is this? What is this crap? This isn't first party awesomeness from Nintendo. This is just like third party, could, and like not even good. Not even good. I was like, dude, like, okay.
Okay, so first off, like, all three of us have Switches, right? Josh, you have a Switch?
Yes, I do.
Yep. Tegan, you have a Switch? I have a Switch.
It's very dusty. In fact, let's start this by saying Nintendo had an eShop sell, and I hadn't turned my Switch on in such a long time. I forgot how to, and I had to Google it because man, I hadn't played that thing in months since I bought it. And the only game I got was, it's out now on PS4, Floor Kids, and I was like, wow. I mean, that wasn't why I bought it. It was like $250 on eBay. Like, that's a great deal. And I was like, man. That was maybe not your best idea, Tekken, because that was $250 down the tubes. But then on the other hand, it's like $250 for a Switch. Can't say no to that. It's like, that's a really good deal. It's like, where are the games? Where are the games? They're on PS4. That's the answer. I'm sorry. I don't want to be that guy, but man,
You're already being that guy.
it's been giving me a lot of gaming, and I mean, sure, it may have made me had like an upset stomach here or there, but besides that, I'm looking at the Switch lineup and I'm like, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not like, Arms isn't the game. I'm like, oh man, let me just stop what I'm doing and just pop this in and have like an amazing experience flailing about punching things. But yeah, Tropical, you're the Switch lover here, You've spent many a time.
Am I a Switch lover?
Are you?
I mean, I like
don't know. I
everything.
guess we'll finally find out.
If I had been there at the original, convinced me not to, I would have said, "Don't look at me."
But now we're looking at you, Trump.
Really, like I haven't played the Switch that much either, and I remember when the first game that I wanted for Switch was Arms.
Really?
Yeah, because I had heard that it was like Virtual On, but with like melee stuff, and I was like, oh, Virtual On, I love that game! And it does kind of play like Virtual On, except it's a bit slower, and some of the advanced techniques that I thought were really cool in Virtual On obviously are not part of Arms. But yeah, I gotta say, after I got it, I played through the campaign and played a little bit of multiplayer, and like that's pretty much it. So I haven't played that much ARMS, even though that was the game. That was the reason I wanted to get it.
Now, is ARMS still $60?
I imagine so, but you can probably get it for cheaper.
Because I would say that's the most egregious thing about Nintendo Switch is how all the games are $60 and they will never drop in price.
Yep.
Because you can only buy them through Nintendo.
You're not getting Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition for $20 on that platform. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Game of the generation, arguably, not getting it for 20. It's like Super Mario Odyssey. Have fun paying 60 years after it's out. Same thing with Breath of the Wild. It's like, oh, you want that for cheaper? Ha ha, suck it. You're not gonna get it. So sorry to be you.
My.
Nintendo, those greedy bastards.
I would say the biggest thing comes down to whether you want the exclusives. Because I mean that's pretty much what it is for me. It's an exclusives machine.
Yep. Same.
The RPG. You may love you some Kirby, but do you love it more than Kingdom Hearts 3? Oh, okay, that's a good question actually for you. If you had to choose, who lives, who dies, and like they both got a gun to their head,
Gosh.
you can only say one, and it's like a Saw moment because it's like, but it's not like twisty Saw moment where you're gonna die. It's like one of them, not you. Kirby or Kingdom Hearts 3. The world must know. What's your choice, RPG? Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not very nice. It's not very nice at all.
Kingdom Hearts, because a saw can't kill Kirby.
It's not wrong. I mean, let's be honest. If all of the lights of the gods couldn't kill Kirby, then
Infinity War couldn't take Kirby, then nothing can.
so then I have to save Kingdom Hearts because it may not be able to survive said horrible death. But
I mean, that's the other thing for me with Nintendo is like they only have like the 1 to 2 games every year. I mean, Sony first party is kind of like that now, but it's like in my opinion, it's kind of like worse with Nintendo because like depending on what you like, you might not be getting something. Whereas like at least Sony's like over time got like more well-rounded with like Uncharted, Until Dawn, Bloodborne, stuff like that. It's like you have like different genres represented across the board. Nintendo, not so much. It's more of like a platformy, and then always like the analogy I made last week of like Sopranos versus Simpsons. It's like I know I can get like the games I need to get my aggression out to like have that hammer to the face sometimes of like a bad guy. Where it's like, I mean, and Spider-Man was fun and it was like a nice lighthearted romp. That being said, can't have too much of the same thing too often, and it's like I got to go to the dark places sometimes, and it's very word I don't know what to say there. But yeah, redacted. And yeah, I like that. I like that cup of tea. It tastes great. Versus the whole wholesome family fun times all the time. Let me vomit some rainbows all over the street. A bit too much. A bit too much. Never takes a chance to go anywhere or do anything, and like nobody ever dies. So yeah.
Next Mario game, he just dies in Luigi's arms.
So you want everybody to die in their games? Is that
I'm
what
not
you
saying
want?
I want that. I'm just saying it's a much more fulfilling experience to go through that than to be like the whole, yay, happy fun times. Let me go save the princess and eat some cake, and then nothing happens. Like not
cake is
like
delicious.
like you do not grow as a character or person, and there's like no character growth, no character development. It's just like a baseline of like, yay, happy, woo, fun times. Like that's no thanks.
Yeah, imagine how motivated Luigi would be, man. He'd be coming for scalps.
I mean, he does have some anger issues, so it wouldn't be surprising. It would not be surprising.
Yeah, I guess like the argument for Switch is it's the same as it's always been. Like what Josh was saying, it's like the exclusives. And really, like if you had no consoles and you just had a Switch, you'd get their cool exclusives, and they've been smart this time and Nintendo's been smart this time. Like there actually is enough stuff for you to play on it. It's kind of hard to find because their store organization is like just very difficult to use.
Straight out of 2007.
But like, but you can get good stuff, and it's just other stuff. but you have a PS4, which means that a lot of that stuff is also on PS4, and in many cases, it runs better on PS4.
Yeah, and then when you bring in the intangibles like online infrastructure and stuff like that, I'm just saying, I can be in party chat with my friends. I can't do that on Switch unless I have a phone, but it's like, pfft, I have a headset on, dude. I am like knee deep in hive thralls, okay, or like Vex goblins. We are doing things in the raid, all right. Stuff's going down. Like we don't have time to like pull out our phones and be like, do-do-do-do-do. And okay, maybe that's the sound it makes. Maybe your phone doesn't make that cool sound like mine does, but like, do-do-do-do-do. Saffro.
Yeah, no one's phone makes
cover me
no
right,
sounds.
gamer hobo. DefSife, what are you doing? It's like it's all real time, in nice, crisp, clean headset goodness. I mean, PSN has had issues, but whatever. You can, okay, fine. I'll even say PSN had issues, but it's like, bears and swords, so, yeah.
But then, I mean, how many games on the Switch would you actually need party chat for, though?
I mean, just because you need RPG doesn't mean I don't want that feature. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, if you're using it as a hit against...
Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
They get their own shooter.
I mean, I probably wouldn't be playing Splatoon 2. So
If you're playing with friends, then yeah. And then with friends, I think the trouble is worth it. But like, I don't know if I want just like open mic Smash Brothers or whatever else may come.
I mean, that's another thing that RPG said in his comment was like, I have the money to buy it. I just need the argument or something weird. I don't remember what it was. But then after that, I was like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that you choose like Switch over like pro visuals on Kingdom Hearts 3, which would be like words I will not say because someone here present I do not want to like say weird words in front of all over the Switch. And then, like, just...
Well, I mean, Kingdom Hearts isn't coming to the Switch, so that's not really an issue.
I'm just saying, apples and oranges, dude. That's kind of what it is. And then you have, like, add in the VR stuff, and, like, who knows? Maybe they added some sweet Keyblade adventure that you can go on RPG and be like, oh, man, I got my Keyblade game all over again, and just have fun doing all that weird stuff in your VR headset. And you don't even know how weird you look. You got a headset on, so it's like you can't even see yourself be weird, which is so great about VR.
Don't own VR,
but you could. I'm just saying, but you could. And added value, not on Switch. Just saying. Did you not hear that last segment where you just gushed all over Beat Saber and Tetris Effect like we did last week?
Yeah, but that's one game. You just made that same argument against the Switch not too long ago.
Whoa, RPG. Whoa there, buddy. Whoa. Okay. Every time his argument is taken, you better be ready, because he's got a counter, okay? Oh yeah, there may be like Beat Saber.
The woe train is pulling up!
you may be all like, oh, but, Beat Saber and Tetris Effect, there's only 2 games taken, 2 games. Oh, what else you got? Well, there's all the scary stuff, like, scares me. And Resident Evil 7, and Until Dawn, Rush of Blood.
That scares
and
you,
then you got
doesn't scare me.
Those, like, gushtastic, not euthanasia, that's not the right word. Synesthesia, wow. Synesthesia.
That is completely different.
Both involve both body and mind. But
I mean...
Synesthesia. That's what I meant. Lights and sound and all that fun stuff. And, Res Infinite, that's great. That's a great fun time. And Thumper, oh man, that's so intense. Like a roller coaster ride through the underworld that I will never forget. Oh man, Wipeout 20 whatever, and the other one, the wipeouts and just like vomit all over the place because it's just like craziness. Not that you want to vomit, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying,
if you can handle the intensity of the experience, oh yeah, yeah.
So really what it comes down to is the exclusive lineup worth it? Versus the opportunity cost, which is apparently a PSVR or a PS4 Pro?
I'm just saying.
Why would I buy a PS4 Pro? I already have a PS4. It's a waste of money.
RPG, the super sampling, just like deliciousness. Can you not see those pixels and just like and they like combine into polygons and then just like look amazing and you're just like and your eyes are bleeding because it looks so good and you're just like I can't believe this. It feels so great to have my eyes bleed. I never thought I'd say that. And then And then you have like
That's the case.
frame rate and like resolution and loading and all those happy bells and whistles, totally worth it. I'm just saying. I mean, that's my biased opinion. Whatever, dude. I played Nier Automata. That was a delicious experience. I will never regret. And I don't think there's like a lot of experiences like that on the Switch. I'm just saying, like, Japanesey weird goodness, fun times. I mean, sure, there's a couple here and there, like Octopath Traveler, like 1, Bayonetta 2, yeah, whatever, couple. There's a few, but there's like a smorgasbord on the PS4. Some of them are weird, like Akiba's that stripping vampire game, and some are like just DMC. That okay, that was like Ninja Theory, so that doesn't count. That's not Japanese, but DMC 5. There you go, boom. That ain't coming to Switch. I'm just saying. Okay, maybe it does.
Yeah,
it's
but I
like,
already have a pre-order for the PS4. So
I'm
that's
just
not
saying.
really like
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And more examples of that, like RE2 remake. Just keep adding to the scale. And it's like who will have more weight on them at the end of the day to just like fill your smorgasbord of awesomeness. Not the Switch. That's what I'm just saying. That's just what I'm saying.
I mean, SMT5 is for the Switch, and then also
but before
Fire
that-
Emblem Three Houses is for the Switch, and then it's like there's other stuff that they have exclusives that I can't get on my PS4. So
Whoa. Before that, who gave you Persona 5? I'm just saying. And where's like the next Catherine coming to you at? Is it coming on Switch?
SMT5
You want to make that?
is?
You want to make that bet? That's one game RPG. I just named like 2. It's just like twice as many as one. I'm just saying.
It's
Totally
Well, isn't
factual.
that all the more reason to own both?
I mean, you could make that argument too if you want
Because,
to.
I mean-
that person.
because you want me to spend the money to buy a PS4 Pro, which I could just spend to buy a Switch.
Hey, I'm just being a good friend and recommending to you the thing that will give you the most pleasure in your life. That sounded weird out of context. Whatever. I just said it. And I'm just saying, you don't need to like get a Switch if you just re-up on PS4 and like VR. It's a fun time. It's a fun ride, and it never ends. I'm just saying, this good console generation has been pretty good. I'm not going to say it's the best ever because there's been issues, but what has hit the mark has really hit the mark. And man, Uncharted 4 and Horizon, so good, and other awesome first-party stuff. And does Nintendo have the output to continue? Like what happened last year with Wii U? It's like quite kind of missed the mark, and then just like couldn't keep up with the output, and we saw that it did. So they've got Smash Brothers, they got Odyssey, they've got Breath of the Wild. That's where's Metroid 4? I'm just saying, Metroid Prime 4. We haven't seen or heard anything about it since. And like the next Pokemon, yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors until it's like a screenshot or a trailer. Then I'll be happy. But until then, it's like I would hold off and save your whatever's for a brighter day.
Yeah, it is tough because out of I believe I own 5 games for Switch. 2 of them are exclusives, 3 of them are not, and those 3 games I barely ever play on there. I own them all on PS4, and I would just rather play them on PS4. So it's really down to, are you into those exclusives? Are you into Mario? Are you into Metroid? Are you into Pokemon?
Yeah.
And that's what's really gonna tie it over for you.
Yeah, it's like, if you look at the roster of Smash Brothers and like, do I like these series and franchises? I mean, that being said, they all haven't had like new releases or hits or releases in like the last 5 to 10 years. So it's like
Long
take
time.
your take what you can get. Sorry, who's Pith Angel from that game? Whatchamacallit? I can't think.
Come on.
Kid Icarus?
Yes,
Kid
it's like, sorry,
Icarus.
Kid Icarus fans, you might get a new game every 10 years, but it's like, who knows if it's gonna be good or not, or even on like a console, like the 3DS version that like nobody really liked, but it's like, hey, new one, everybody get excited, and like FN Starbound, it's like everybody's been waiting for a new one for that. It's like you're not getting that. It's been like 20 years since like, the new one of those. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. It's just that's torture, dude.
He's not sorry.
That is
He's
that's
not
like
sorry
that
at
is
all.
like beyond the threshold of like what I as a fan would like from things I'm a fan of, and like I'm just saying, if you don't want to go through that, we all saw what happened with like Star Fox Zero and me, and like the whole predicament of like, I haven't had a new Star Fox game that was like this on a console in like over 10 years. That being said, new ones on Wii U. That's a very crappy platform. I'm not sure I want to buy it, and I didn't, and it's like I don't regret it for a second. I mean, that being said, also Super NES Classic with Star Fox 2. It's like I can just play that, so it's like not as good. I mean, that's very apples and oranges because it's like, oh man, look at this 3D thing from like 20 years ago versus this 3D thing from a couple years ago, and it hurts, guys, when I think about that and just Star Fox. That I really want that series to be good so they can like keep making new ones, but it's like they just don't sell, and it makes me sad because it's like I'm kind of part of the problem because I didn't buy it, but whatever. I'm not behind that decision, so. Sorry, but yeah, you could just do like that, out of spite, and be like, when's the last time that Nintendo franchise I really like had a new entry, and just stick it to them. I mean, that being said, there's probably like a new Kirby like last month or something, so whatever.
That could be all you need to tide you over.
I mean, besides, you could just like wait for a bundle or something, you know, like the old times, and be like, you know, I'm just gonna wait until there's a bundle, and then I'm gonna buy it then because it'll be cheap and I get the game. So yeah.
So what you're saying is I should definitely get a Switch then.
That is not what I said, but you know, whatever.
Interesting.
It's a tough question to ask yourself, but personally, I would say yes. If you're trying to convince yourself that, hey, I'm gonna use this all the time and I'm gonna play all these games that I can play on my normal consoles. If you're trying to convince yourself of that, no, that's a lie. You're not. It's in handheld mode. It is just not fun to hold, and it kind of hurts your hands after a while. And then also in docked mode, unless you have the Pro Controller, which is $70 goddamn. You're gonna be playing with this little square controller.
Like 60, so it's not that far off.
Now, see, here's the difference. The PlayStation actually comes with a DualShock, whereas your Nintendo Switch comes with a grip that turns your two Joy-Cons into a square controller, a little square pad. So unless you want to be using your pager, controller, it's not going to be a fun time.
I might be into it.
Yeah. Let's get some more innovative controllers. Whatever happened to the Nintendo 64 three-handle controller? Maybe it's a Nintendo to be on the forefront of creating controllers.
Listen, the 64 controller was super fun and not painful at all to play with, so it's cool. It's cool.
I can't wait for them to innovate with like 3 analog sticks.
I mean, at this point, why not?
And then just throw out a Mario game tying heavily to that feature. Like, come on, guys, use it. We spent so much R&D money on this.
It's for your nose.
It's like, how do I even play this?
But I'll be honest, that's one of the most egregious things with Mario Odyssey. As fun as that game is, the move controls are just terrible.
Yeah, well, so RPG, usually you have like a 5-game list or something?
Yes.
What happened to your rule, RPG?
Oh, I already have way
it's
more
definitely
than
that
6 games.
number, yeah.
But otherwise, I would be...
Like, what are they?
Hold on, I have to pull up the list because I have it written down.
I think it's probably, well, I don't know. Like, Switch versus not having a Switch is a different question than Switch versus having something else
I agree.
that you also want.
Because it kind of does just function better as a expansionary type or console.
Like a companion one, yeah.
It's like
Well, I mean, it would be a companion one. I already have a PS4, so it would be a companion one.
I'm just an RPG. If you're already like pressed for time and you get a Switch like me, and it's like you're not going to be playing the Switch. I'm just saying, because it's like it's just going to sit there and collect dust like mine did for like many months.
You don't know my life.
Yeah, my situation is different because I have other family in the house, and so like they play it a ton, and it's been really awesome. Like, I feel like I've completed Switch games even though I haven't played them because I got to see all of the games.
One of these days you will realize that's not how that works.
It is not how that works.
One of these days, it's the only way it's gonna work. When my hands don't function anymore.
It's like, play this game for me.
I'm gonna hand down all my stuff and be like, all right, now you got to finish all these games that I couldn't finish in my hand's lifetime. So, and record them because I do want to see them.
Oh,
obviously.
dude, recording didn't even get to talk about share button. Jeez, like best feature ever, best button ever. That's for sure.
It's true. He was very big on the whole.
Switch has a share button.
It's not as good, Tropical. I've used that share button. It's not as good. I'm just saying.
That's good. That's true.
You can have like 7 seconds of gameplay. Ooh, whoopee. Can you stream? No. Can you flippin' share factory it? No. Can you flippin' can you make GIFs? Just not even the same Tropical. Just Don't even like the fact you even said that just insulting to me. Jeez, hurts my feelings. Garbage.
He's not very nice. Not very nice at all.
Well, I've used that share button a lot, dude. Like, there's a whole like album on my Facebook because of that. It's like share button videos from your PlayStation. It's like, wow, that's kind of sad but kind of cool. Yeah.
Mm.
So do you still are you still undecided RPG, or did you decide like whatever, man? I got my 6 games. Or are you still looking up the list?
Oh no, I already have the list.
It's like Kirby, right? Octopath
obviously.
Traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Bayonetta.
Let's
Is
see.
Bayonetta?
I have. Well, no, I don't really play Bayonetta because I mean it's just a knockoff DMC and it's not
Oh,
what I'm
burn.
looking for. But I have. Well, a lot of these games have not been released yet, so
Oh, well, there you go. You can just keep waiting.
that also probably doesn't help. But because I have Super Mario Odyssey, have Mario Kart, have Kirby Star Allies, SMT5, Fallen Legion, Smash Brothers, Octopath Travelers, Mario Tennis, Fire Emblem,
Ew.
that town game, Mario Party Switch, and then Pokemon.
Mario
So-
Tennis, really?
What I loved Mario Tennis.
is really
games.
cool.
You say so. Teach his own.
What was that town game? It's
I don't
made by
know,
I'm not as big
somebody.
of a fan
Five is
of Mario
developed in-
Tennis as I was the Mario Soccer game
Oh
that
yeah,
came
Mario
out.
Strikers. That was
Yeah.
great. They should redo that. Or
They should. But again, that's Nintendo's
Yep.
thing. They just have so many IP.
Or Game Freak is
Hope you're not
developing
one
town.
on every platform because you only get one every 10 years, minimum.
Oh, that's right, Game Freak.
But another big argument is that there's no, like, especially with Xbox and PS4, there's not really too many other game systems that have a lot of party games,
yeah.
or a lot of games that you can play with friends,
Yeah.
right on couch
Local-
co-op and stuff
local
like that.
multiplayer, Yeah.
Yep. One big one that just came out, Mario Party, where you can put multiple Switches together and actually have them affect how big the screen size is. You also have Mario Kart and then Super Smash Bros., which comes out next week. These are 3 big games that are very fun to play with other people.
Oh my gosh, next week.
Enjoy.
And yet, I still feel like in this day and age, PSVR is really good for parties. Even though it's like a sort of solitary experience. And I say that sort of because like the spectators get a lot of stuff to watch. There's the second screen stuff, obviously, and then there's the physical performance of the person who has been, released into the virtual world, and like you just have it's like physical comedy while watching a TV as well.
No,
And then-
I'll give you that. VR also is a very good party game. And it's
Yeah.
solitary in the way of, like, say you and a group of friends are playing a single-player game, but you guys pass around the controller every time someone dies.
But it's just like the entertainment that everyone seems to get out of it, even though it's like a group, but you got just one headset. It still feels like everyone's like, oh, after they come out of it, like VR has this weird after effect. You come out of it, and because of how strange it was compared, especially if you've never had VR before, then it's just like it sticks in your mind, and like you want to go back to it. Yeah.
Do you truly, truly?
Yes.
Truly?
Truly.
BRPG, are there any of like those weird Japanesey games on Switch that you like the Virtue Last Reward and Danganronpa and all that stuff?
Oh,
And like even the Muv-Luv, I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, I haven't actually ever played a Muv-Luv.
Are there Switch Muv-Luffs?
Probably.
Probably.
I mean, there's probably things, but I haven't looked into it.
Things you say.
Yeah, because I mean, there's some stuff I've seen that looks like it might be a weird game, but since there's like no actual news on it, it's like I don't know until later, I guess, once they give more information. So, Yeah, I know. But it's a Switch, so they probably will have weird stuff on it. Wouldn't be unheard of. But again, I already have my 6 game or more than my 6 games, so it's really just a matter of time, I guess, at this point. So
Oh, hey, we have your 6 games. What are you waiting on? Gosh.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm waiting on,
Oh,
Tekken.
you're waiting on that non-existent Black Friday deal that you didn't jump on, and then you can't until for the whole nother year, RPG. Oh, unless you're gonna get that Pro Switch, which is like somehow better Switch, which I don't even know how that would work, but whatever.
Magic is how that's gonna work. Sweet, sweet magic. Do you believe in it?
Not really.
And I hope you do. Something, big red shoes. I don't know how that song works actually. But yeah, that.
All right. Well, I guess.
Who knows?
I guess
Maybe I'll just wait until like a bundle comes out that I
remember,
want.
You keep on waiting, and then PS5 will get announced. You'll be like, why would I waste any money on this Switch garbage when I can have that? Huh.
Oh my!
Especially if you
It's
like
like
didn't spend the money. It's like, oh man, and it's saved up. I could just get it instantly. Delicious.
Well, I'm not gonna get a PS5 when it first comes out because there's never any games for the PlayStation I want until like later on. So
Hey, you never know. They could have some sweet
yeah.
launch notes.
Sony has always taken a while for to meet my 6 game rule, so I wouldn't be getting that at launch.
Oh, well, you were never one to hop on Killzone?
Yo, no.
It was so pretty.
And then who could forget Knack? You know, it's just the quality.
Yes,
He's back.
Knack.
Pretty.
How could I possibly forget about Knack?
Oh man.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't the bee's knees, man. It wasn't the bee's knees, and we need those knees, those sweet, sweet knees. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah. So I probably wouldn't get the PS5 at launch regardless.
The only reason I would get it at launch is if it came backwards compatibility with all PS4 games.
That would be amazing.
That would be. But that's too smart for Sony to do.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, because at this point I feel like most consoles should just have it from the get-go. I don't know why they're being so difficult with this whole backwards compatibility thing. Because I'm too lazy to like
It's
hook up all
hard.
my consoles and then be like, let me play this game I want to play, but it's just too much work. It's too much work. Because sometimes I go through my game collection, I'm like, oh, I want to play this, but that requires me to hook up my PS3 or something, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Switching cords.
Well, none of them are like unpacked. My PS3 is like still sitting in my suitcase from when I moved like forever and a day ago. So I just, yeah, it's very disappointing that is not standard. I mean, I guess yeah, to put all the hardware in order to make an emulator for all of the consoles would be a work, but make it happen, people.
And I mean, you gotta think when PlayStation 2 was made backwards compatibility, they jumped the price to like $600, and essentially was like the PS3 operating system in there, and then they also had the PS2 operating system in there.
It was actual PS2 hardware in there.
Ah, Jesus.
So I mean, it's possible.
It is possible. But you know, we're taking these guys from the same guys who you can change your name, but you'll lose everything. You know?
In all fairness, changing your name is hard.
Apparently.
It is very hard. You know, it's not like slapping a new numeric code on there. It's we tied your name to everything that you own on PlayStation.
I mean, I find it hilarious that they can't change it. So,
I really want to change my name, but God, do I want to lose everything?
It's pretty risky.
Yeah.
If they don't fix that, I don't see many people doing it.
No, I don't see many people doing it either.
Maybe that was their intention, though.
Unless you're a person who never bought anything digital, then you have no risk.
I want to see what the gambit is, or what the range of stuff you can lose. Like if there's a 50% chance I don't lose anything, maybe I'll be tempted. Maybe I'll take that gamble. Huh?
I think
They should include like a slots machine type thing whenever you change your name.
They'll show the odds next to it.
it's like this. You have a 14% chance of this. Well, if it's XCOM, you might want to be careful with those percentages. 'Cause it's like
99% chance nothing will happen.
you've lost everything.
I was right.
Oh, gosh, that game, man. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it.
Well, I think we've left the Switch thing behind as a question mark. Probably no, I think.
I mean,
It doesn't seem like
just like for the
they make
record,
sense
I want
right
to say Tekken's flowchart for this gen, PS4 on top, followed by Switch, followed by Xbox One. I mean, if you put PC in there, it's after PS4 still. I'm just saying, I prefer controllers. I'm just saying, not a mouse and keyboard person. That's just my take. And handhelds are separately, so I'm not even going to bother talking about them. So yeah.
Do you think that Nintendo is sort of like Microsoft in a way, in the sense that, like, really they've kind of banked on the same franchises over and over again?
I wouldn't say that. I would just say that they painted themselves into a corner as far as like what they are and like what their wheelhouse is as far as like the stuff that they do have. So it's like that's why I'm always like making that. Or that's why I feel like my analogy I came up with was so ingenious. It's like, oh man, they like are never going to take a chance and like kill someone or like have any M-rated stuff because it's just like that's just not their thing. They're like the Disney of gaming. It's just like once you moved on and you can't go back. It's like it's kind of hard, dude. It's kind of hard as like me as like a 30-something adult to be like, oh, I still find this as invigorating as I do when I'm just doing these very, very, very bad things as Joel in The Last of Us, and just like, it feels. I mean, it's not that it feels good, but it's like they deserved it. They know what they did, and like I needed to do this. Protect Ellie, man. It's like we have done some things. It was worth it, and then man, that was woof, what a ride. What a ride that game was, man.
I think Tekken hits on an excellent point that they are not like any other video game company, but they're more like Disney. They are extremely like Disney. And the fact that they're PG, they want to hit the widest audience possible by hitting everyone.
Disney is amazing. Is that what we're going with?
And also that they understand their IP. It's not that they're using it over and over. They understand the lineage that Mario has, and they understand the gravity that... I think with Switch, the pickup rate for Mario, Zelda, and then Mario Kart is 1 or 6 out of every 10 people who have a Switch have picked up all 3 of those games. So it's like 60% pickup rate. So that is one of the things that not even like God of War or Red Dead Redemption has. With even like 17 million units for Red Dead Redemption, and say like 89 million PS4s out there, and 30 to 40 million Xbox out there. That's a pickup rate not represented by any other game company in the world. And so they really understand that their IP's value. So I would say that's why they keep hitting on it. They know that will sell. Just like, say, with Disney. They know whenever they bring out any of their old movies out of the vault, like Mulan, all that stuff, when they create their artificial scarcity, they know that stuff's going to sell.
Whoa! I like that. That is like
watch your mouth over there.
For Nintendo vaulting their franchises of like never releasing them. It's like, oh, you want a new Metroid, have fun waiting. You want a new Metroid Prime, have fun waiting. Ha ha ha! You're never gonna get it. It's like, yeah, the one that you like is just like the one that never comes out. Just curses. And also the like their brand identity, like they know it to a T, and they're not gonna damage that or sacrifice it for anything because they got to make profit for the shareholders. So they're kind of just stuck where they're at.
I just want to point out that Disney kills a lot of people, especially parents. But we're gonna go into RRR.
Oh,
Yes?
Tropical. Yeah, you better pivot into that
Listen.
because I was about to throw down with some.
In all fairness,
where's my X-Force movie? Where's my effing R-rated whatever comes after the MCU when they merge it with some mutants? I want some Uncanny X-Force, dude, and I want someone getting shot in the face, and I want some Cable and him like shooting dudes and just like stuff like Wolverine like gutting dudes and like ripping stuff out and just like but it's not gonna happen because no R and
my.
stuff. I'm just saying it's not gonna happen probably.
You want to talk about it, champ?
No, I didn't need to talk about it. I didn't need to talk about it.
Because that sounds kind of like you got some issues you're trying to work out there. Don't know what's going on.
It's called being true to the character, and that word I can't think of right now, but there's a phrase for it,
I'd say Logan gave me pretty much everything I needed for Wolverine.
I don't know. No, he might need to talk to somebody about that.
All right. Rapid release responses. This is for the month of December. Basically, we go through releases.com's list of games coming out in the month of December, and then we give a interested, not interested, and a I don't know what that is. In which case, I think we're going to go with the 10-word description, truncated description today, because the box art thing was pretty hard. And
Well, that was your fault. I mean,
that is not my fault. That was by design. Because this is not really about information. It's mostly about entertainment value.
Tropical
So-
was like, how could we make this more difficult? I know.
And there are some really fun box arts this time. So maybe we'll do some of those. Well, you will see. Yeah, as I was saying, this is not so much for information, mostly for entertainment. If you really need to know more about these games, you should
bad.
probably look them up somewhere else.
Too effing bad.
3 or 4 of us have Switch games, so we're gonna add those into the list, and then we can talk about.
I don't
this
know,
box
man.
art coming up.
I don't think that's a good idea because I kind of already know what I'm looking for.
No?
From
Okay,
Do it. Don't listen to him.
from the plumber house or whatever mouse house analogy I need to make now that that's the whole thing. Disney.
House
Nintendo.
that plumbers made?
That's actually a good one, Tropical, because plumbers don't build; they do piping and stuff.
I mean, that's a form of building.
But did they build the pipes RPG, or did they just clean them?
They build networks to make sure you can poop properly, so that is super important, okay?
Do they really? Because I was under
yeah.
the impression that they were just the cleaners, and they
No.
kept it all nice and flowing.
No, not at
Oh,
all. They have
no.
to, there's actual work involved.
How do they get into the pipes?
Plumbers, or they use their gear and tools and stuff.
They use their plumbing power. Stop asking questions.
All right, so we're going to start with December 4th, which is next Tuesday. The first game is a Switch game called Toki.
I have not even heard of this game, so
I haven't heard of it, but it sounds cool in Japanesey. Is it cool in Japanesey?
probably not.
So this is the box art I was talking about a moment ago. It's Toki, but it's built out of like ancient ruins, like stone sculptures. Except the eye is a monkey holding a burning tray of some sort. And to be even more incongruous, there is a football helmet hanging off of T.
Does it involve monkeys playing football?
I mean, I don't know what Toki is, so that doesn't really help me at all.
Anyway, into the first 10 words, Toki makes his great return on Nintendo Switch with a remake.
Ew, I've never heard this game, and it's being remade, so which
I-
means not worthy. Pass.
Although, if it's being remade, that means there's a good chance that the original was either fun and did well, or did well and was terrible, but they still thought it was good enough to give to everybody else. So, I mean, maybe.
They're looking for that Switch money.
That Switch money. Who is it nowadays? Who even is it?
Let's see. I guess it's a platformer.
Oh, gross. Never mind.
Moving on then. Still December 4th, Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight for PS4 and PS Vita.
I don't like rhythm games,
What?
but I do like that property though. So, but still no, because I don't like rhythm games.
Did you know that Persona 4 Dancing whatever was it's canon?
I heard about that. So it was like the fighting game too, and I was like,
Yeah.
why would they do that? Why would they do that to me? Because they hate me. That's why. But I'm into it. It's fine. I like the pain.
I'll have to wait and see on the gameplay on this, because I'm not sure if it's just matching steps and stuff like that or something else.
It's like, from my understanding, similar to like the 8 rhythm, I guess, in style of how you do things, except that it's persona and dancing instead of you fighting battles into the rhythm kind of thing.
Oh, that is completely different kind of, and not as appealing. Pass.
Yeah. The way you put in the commands are similar. The whole actual rhythmness thingy is
like the whole
dancing
and all that stuff.
and holding it and all that stuff. Yeah,
Following the lines,
but there's actual dancing instead of
fighting. Which
fighting.
is not, yeah.
It is not. I'm sorry.
Josh, are you a Persona guy?
I am not, but not because I don't like it, because I've never
Get out of
played
here.
I really would love to give Persona 5 a chance, but I'm not a big RPG guy, so I don't know if it's...
Oh my gosh, you're fired. Who found this guy? What's going on over here?
Cool. Next one is Subnautica for PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Ooh, okay, this one is one I'm interested in.
Oh, of course you are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want Subnautica.
It sounds familiar though. What is this game about? Oh, boy, you can't tell me what it's about. But what's the description thingy?
Subnautica is an open-world underwater exploration and adventure.
Yeah, all the
Game.
words I don't like. All of the words I don't like. He was like, hey, let's make a description full of everything you would hate. And I was like, okay, cool.
There's no roguelike or
I mean, it might as well at this point.
or warrior needs food badly.
Oh gosh, I'm so glad they didn't use that. Oh my goodness.
Diver needs diving stuff badly.
Wow. Just wow.
Cool. Then we got Just Cause 4, PS4, PC, Xbox One.
That comes out on the 4th.
That does come out on the 4th. It's like no one knew.
Rip Just Cause, because that's the same day as the Disney expansion, and I think Smash Bros. Comes out 3 days later, so yeah.
Yep.
I really want to like that game, but it just feels so forgettable.
Yeah, and Red Dead Redemption Online just came out, or the beta
Yep, just came out
so it's
yesterday, right?
That's another open world game, so it's like, that's a lot of competition. Just Cause the game I hear a lot of people like, but I've never really actually seen people play, and I know I don't play it, so.
I think it's one of those games for people who want, or they just want to have like mindless fun kind of thing.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the poor man's Crackdown, or that actually comes out.
Cut.
That's not delayed indefinitely all the time.
Because because that, from my understanding, Just Cause is like, I almost said Just Dance. It's just full of just nonsensical action and crazy stuff and set pieces, and so I mean, I guess if you're into that sort of thing, then
It's basically Saints Row, but the tone is serious.
That seems like that shouldn't be a thing.
It's weird.
right.
Cool. The next one is Mutant Year Zero: Road to Eden,
Oh,
PS4,
man.
PC, and Xbox One.
This one's on
Wait,
my radar.
that's coming out.
I know. I was like,
Yes,
I
it
had the same
is.
reaction RPG. I was like, this one. This is like the strategy RPG one, right? With like the weird
Yeah, 'cause I
creatures and stuff. I'm looking for it.
Yeah,
But
Mhm.
if it's $60, I'll just wait for a price drop because I'm
'Cause
not
I
about
was-
to drop 60 right now on something. So
Yeah, because I think I wanted that too, but I didn't know that was coming out so soon, though.
Me either.
I think they just
Oh.
dropped their launch trailer or something. So
Oh no! And I heard it's like kind of like XCOM, so that means it's going to be super frustrating on top of everything else. So I'm definitely into it.
So is it
Definitely.
turn-based?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm actually interested in this, but I'm actually sad because I did not know it was coming out so soon. So I'm like, oh no, oh no. So now I'm torn. I'm all out of
You
faith.
can always buy
This
it
is how
and
I
then
feel.
take money away from your Switch fund and be like, whatevs. Did it
Why are
later.
you trying to stop me from getting a Switch?
I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you.
It doesn't seem like you're trying to help me.
It's like the time when Darth Vader was like, Luke, come with me to the dark side and we will depose the Emperor. I'm not exactly trying to do anything bad. I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you. I'm just saying.
Just
Emperor's a bad dude. We depose him. He's gone. And then we can rule together. It's win-win. Win-win, dude. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I mean, everybody seemed to trust the Emperor guy. I mean, right up until he turned out to be super evil. But I mean, who hasn't nowadays? Who hasn't? So, yeah. I mean, he seemed pretty trustworthy.
I mean, anybody
Except for
that
the-
can convince you to kill
Or a
your,
bunch of kids,
your,
guys.
your pregnant wife, or kill her from heartbreakingness, or however that weirdness worked, and then like hunt down your 2 children. I mean, I'm sure he's a good guy. I'm sure he's great.
I mean, in all fairness, they had it coming.
What?
How did they try to get away in the first place?
Because I mean, no one actually tried to escape. They were all just like, nah, this guy seems legit. The next thing you know, he was not legit. He was legit at all. But it's fine because it all worked out for the best. They got their last hope and all that stuff happened. So I mean, it all kind of worked out. It all kind of worked out.
Well, speaking of which, RPG, you still have not watched Last Jedi, so yeah. Still
Crap,
waiting
you're
for that
right. I
Twitter
forgot. You
review.
were supposed to remind me.
Oh, whoops. I guess that counts then. I just reminded you.
Did you say The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
Quick review, it's not good.
See,
I'll-
Charticle, that's
I'll be
already
the
one
judge
on
of
my
that.
team. Now I just need RPG.
I
and
will
it can
be
a
the judge
majority.
of that.
I liked it.
He did. He did like it.
I did not.
More than life itself.
Well. All right. The next one is Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, coming to Switch, PS4, PC, and Xbox One.
I'm gonna guess this is a continuation of those remakes of that series, and I've like played one of them. I mean, they're not bad, but they're not games I spend money on, so pass. So I think the one I
Go
had
ahead
was
and
Furious
do it.
Plus, so yeah.
Go ahead and do it, Tropical. Do the thing.
A legendary game series is about to return with an all-new adventure.
Legendary, you say.
Legendary, you say. I'm still thinking about the XCOM animal game. Sorry, I'm not even completely focused anymore. But yeah, XCOM animals, guys. I didn't know that was coming out so soon, so now I'm like excited. So there's that. There is that. But no, I don't want any type of like remake of something else. So pass then.
Really RPG? Because didn't you get?
Shut up. No. So yeah.
No one for Monster Boy?
No.
All right. Then we have Override Mech City Brawl for PS4 and PC.
Mech,
So
Mech,
what
you
type
say?
of mech game is
An
this?
Xbox One.
Oh, what?
And Xbox One. What kind? Pilot a diverse roster of epic mechs, each with their own play.
Style, I'm assuming.
Okay, that's a
But you know, he stops like at the 10 no matter what. He's weird. I don't know. But
For myself, this game looks amazing.
That
Was
doesn't
it
mean
close?
anything to
'Cause
me.
I don't.
You've used
I
that
just
word a
thought-
lot this episode, Tropical. I'm just saying. So, kinda.
I've seen so many amazing things this week.
Wait, what is it
It's
called?
like, do I want to try to call this one or not?
It's called Override Mech City Brawl.
I have never
guess I'll
heard
check
of
out a
this.
stream and go from there. Override Mech City Brawl. What genre is this game?
Mech.
That's not
Action.
action.
I mean, it's a giant mech game. What'd you think it was?
You
gonna
never
be?
know. I'm just saying. My interest is big now.
They're either action or simulation,
Yeah.
and sometimes fighting game.
If I say it could be a fighting game. You never
I
know.
mean, what are the odds on that? I mean, it is called Mech City Brawl, but still, it's not the point. I do like mech games, but only when they're Armored Core, so... no, it's a no from me.
Josh, have you seen this one?
I just looked at it. Gave me some Monster Jam kind of vibes, but still, I'm gonna have to pass on that.
The hell is Monster Jam?
Monster Jam,
Bad.
I believe, is like a PS2 game.
I thought it was like, isn't that like a monster truck thing? Monster Jam?
Oh man, maybe I'm speaking on the wrong title. Monster Jam is basically the overall idea of the game I'm thinking of. It was just a bunch of monsters that got together and fought and destroyed a city.
Oh.
Oh. Like Rampage?
Or
Could
War of
be
the
that one.
Monsters?
Honestly, it was a
Or,
PS2 game, but it was a PS2 demo disc.
It might have been War of the Monsters.
I think it was War of the Monsters.
I think it was one of the monsters. There was like a giant electricity eyeball looking thing.
Oh dear.
It's literally just the body was electricity. and it was just a giant
Yeah.
eyeball.
I think it's War of the Monsters.
Darn
But it gave me some of those vibes.
It's
But,
weird that there's so many games like that out there.
I'm not a big mech kind of guy.
Oh my gosh, where did you find this guy?
Wow, there's a surprisingly large number of releases this day. Continuing December 4th, Atelier Arlen Series Deluxe Pack
No.
for PS4 and Switch.
Pass. Not my cup of tea.
Wait, what's all in those?
I don't know. The deluxe pack makes it sound pretty awesome.
I was going to say, because it's like there might be a bunch of them in that. I might
Just
actually want
alchemy
that.
Anyway.
The
Listen! It's an RPG. It has alchemy in it.
The box art shows 3 different titles, so I'm assuming it's 3 games.
Oh, that's actually pretty good deal. I mean,
You say that, but there's a Devil May Cry collection with Devil May Cry 2 in it. That game's bad. I'm just saying. That's 1/3 of the collection. That's bad.
he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Moving on, we got Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales for
Oh,
PS4
man.
and Xbox One.
Oh, I didn't know it was coming out on PS4. Nice. I will
haven't
check that out after I
played
play through
this.
The Witcher eventually sometime.
Eventually.
Have you really never played through The Witcher?
I played the first one for a bit when I got to the first town, and I never came back to it. That's as far as I got.
I'm about middle through the third one.
Yeah.
We'll finish it eventually.
It's like, I gotta get it
Those
done
games
before
are
Cyberpunk comes
long.
out, or I will not forgive myself.
I'm going through and methodically going to every point of interest. I'll just whittle it away.
In addition to that, doubleheader Witcher, Gwent, the Witcher card game, also comes out on PS4 and Xbox One December 4th.
I've never played that one. Is it good?
It is. It's pretty good. It kind of reminds me of the game in the actual main game, except it's a lot more balanced.
Well, that tells me nothing because I have not played the main game for this one.
Oh my
so
God. It's a card game, and the
Well, I
person
know
with the
that.
most points, the person with the most points wins at the end.
I mean, that's how all the games work. It's not really telling me anything.
Huh? I guess that isn't. All right. So you get 10 cards and you lay them out in a specific order to win the match.
You're really bad at this.
There are 3 rounds.
Just stop.
Game.
Stop doing everything you're doing. Just stop doing everything you're doing right now.
There are card packs.
Stop it! Oh my god.
There's a
Wait, but
dealer.
this one's free to play though, isn't it?
Yes, I believe it is.
I think so.
Well, actually, I think it's the beta that's free to play right now, and I believe it's free to play because they have egregious microtransactions in it.
So then it is definitely free to play.
Doesn't stop FIFA, but yeah, I think this is free to play.
And then I can at least just download it and see if it's terrible or not, and then be like, I don't want this. And no consequences. No consequences.
Then there is Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight. So probably the same. They're coming out on the same day, December 4th.
What?
I thought we had moved to a different day. That's why I was confused. I was like,
Nope.
Well,
December 4th is
I will-
packed.
Oh
I
my
will
goodness.
default to my answer about the last dancing game with Persona in it. So yeah.
Yep. I
That's-
expect the same responses for this one. It's basically the same except different characters.
So it's like Pokemon, but not.
Not really.
No trading between them.
I just want to say.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
different
I'm just
characters.
saying, different characters. You can't. Oh wait, didn't? Oh wait, never mind. You can get all of them too. Never mind. I forgot. It's been a long time. Wait, no, the legendary one at the end, like Diamond and Pearl, like the big Rory one, and the other thing. You know, the Dragon one of Time and like the other one. Like you couldn't get.
Dragon One of Time. Oh,
That's why you had to
dear.
get both, because your guy gets the legendary one at the end, and then swap them.
Uh,
I mean, you could trade, yeah, but it's like when you get them on your own, dude, you get both. Like a true Pokemon Master, just saying.
huh.
There's no
Oh.
trading when you're a solo player like myself. I'm just saying.
You gotta believe.
That is not even the same series RPG.
I know,
Get that
but
crap out of
eh,
here.
but you like Parappa the Rappa.
I do.
I know.
Finally, December 4th brings us Arca's Path for PS4 and
I
PC.
have no idea what this is.
I don't know what that is either.
Trapped in the enchanting simulated world of Arca, it is up to.
You know, I just realized Arca is Arkham without the M, but it's like not nearly as compelling with that description you just gave. RPG. I mean, tropical. So pass.
Oh,
All passes.
Imagine.
I don't know. I
Arkham
mean,
game where you're just trapped in the asylum or something.
I don't think that's what that is.
Or imagine if
I don't
it's
think
a
that's what
VR
that
game
is
like
at all.
that. That'd be so freaky.
I don't. think that's what-
It is a VR game.
Ew.
Whoa.
I mean, I don't have VR, so
Arca
I can't play it.
is?
Any-
Arca's Path is.
Ah. I said Arca. I mean, Arca's Path, whatever. You made it sound like Arca was a person. It sounds like a name. I'm just saying.
It could
It's
be.
just weird.
It is a name.
Person,
It's someone's path.
someone's
Tropical,
path,
that's
man.
not what I meant.
Or, no, actually, Arca's the name of the world.
Oh my goodness, get it together, Tropical.
Anyways, where are we now? We are moving to December 6th for some reason. Remember, this is releases.com, so. This is Jagged Alliance Rage for PS4 and PC and Xbox One.
Description.
Jagged Alliance is back with a new take on turn-based tactics.
Ooh,
Adventure.
You're all up my alley there, buddy. So,
That sounds interesting.
I will pencil it in because that's like the day before Smash, so not happening. But you never know what could happen by the end of the month, so I might get a price drop. Who knows? But yeah, I
Is
am
it-
interest piqued.
Is it like XCOM?
No, it's not RPG.
Asking for a friend.
It's not like
Maybe.
Just making sure nothing gets in the way of my animal XCOM game. So, because now this
I
is
like how you
happening.
called it that. That's like its new name on the podcast. It's like
Animal XCOM.
yeah. Animal XCOM.
This one is Battle Princess Madeline for PC and PS4. Also December 6th.
I have never heard of this.
What is a weird description?
Battle Princess Madeline is a game that follows the journey of a...
It is a game. It's coming out on a console.
They use too many words to regurgitate the title.
Check mark number one right there.
What is the genre for it?
The genre is action-adventure platformer.
I know
Looking
this
at the
ship's headed.
screenshot
I'll,
now,
I'll
it looks like
pass
a
because
Metroidvania.
Shantae already exists. Sorry.
Yeah, pass on me for me too.
Let me give it a big old pass.
Triple pass. Finally, December 6th, The Last Remnant remastered for PS4.
Right. That is still a thing. I am interested in it to see if they improved it because I mean I did play the last one, so
And it was a bunch of jank up in that tank, so yeah,
There
also
was
waiting to see. Just saying.
up in that tank. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like the game. It's like it's good on paper, but then in practice, it's like, you guys didn't play test this, did you? And it's like, yeah, it's just lots of loading times and just all kinds of messy. Hopefully they fixed that. Hopefully they fixed that. If they did, then I'm definitely down. If they did not, then no. I'm not going to subject myself to that again.
December 7th, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for Switch, of course.
I will be pre-ordering this, so yes, that's a yes for me.
I want it, but I don't have a Switch because somebody keeps telling me not to. So
I mean, at first I was like, I'm not going to get it because it's got a season pass. Nintendo, I will not stand for this on principle. But then I saw the DLC, and then I was like, well, that song list was really awesome, and they're having new songs for each DLC, and that won me over. Surprisingly, I was like, who cares about the stages and the characters? I just want more music. So yeah, I will pay for more music because have you not seen that track list? Oh my goodness, and just have it on in the background all day long.
I'll say this is a good one for me too, but I will defend their season pass. I will defend it, saying that hey, they got 72 characters in there. That's a lot to balance,
Yeah.
all right? And they're still wanting to give us 5 more, including Piranha Plant.
well, the
get
five are
Chad,
five are
right?
free though. I don't think they're part of the. Those are free.
That was the other thing, dude. Like, this game to me has like already won like a achievement in gaming award for the things it has done even before it's out. It's like all those characters, all those stages on one disc, like magical. All that music, all those spirits, all those assist characters. It's just jam packed full of fan service. Of like, if you like video games, you'll like this game because it's full of game things, and you play them in a game. I mean, it's a fighting game, so it's like, you know, there's probably better avenues of like what they could have did, but it's like, yeah, what can you do, you know? Maybe next Mario Kart will have like 1,000 carts of like 1,000 characters. That'd be great. If only, and like 1,000 tracks and 1,000 songs. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just this game has ruined me now because it's like I will like expect this type of like ridiculousness, like over the topness of like I want all the things in the thing, but not going to get it until it's a Smash Brothers game. So it's like, thanks Smash, you ruined me.
Mark my words, Mario 10 is going to bring it back like that. And also Mario Kart 10. I feel strongly about that.
Mario Kart. They had Link in it, man. They had Link in Mario Kart. They could do it. They could do it if they. Whatever.
They could, but you know, does Link even know how to drive a car? You know, these are the questions you got to really ask yourself.
It's got a fast horse.
He's got a fast horse. I would love to see that. Everyone else just revving their engines.
He's just
his
like-
horse an apple.
It's like,
It's running at 60.
wait, but isn't that the game that has like the transforming cars for like the gravity and stuff too, or is that a different Mario Kart game?
Eight
Does
had
have his
that.
motorcycle.
Oh, because I was
It's just got, it's just got to dig in.
Because I was about to say, does the horse just magically fly? You know what? It's Legend of Zelda. I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to question it.
Climbs like the Hulk.
Well, RPG, if you just use the Triforce of whatever, you can apply it to. It's like the Cosmic Cube, really, because it just like makes it do things, and it's like magical. So there you go. It's
just like-
magic.
It's
The
like, is this
Triforce
horse
of physics.
running underwater? Yes. Yes, he is.
So you're telling me if I put a blue tunic on, I can breathe underwater forever?
Yes.
December 7th still. Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek for PAC and PS4.
I have a feeling we've talked
and
about this
Switch.
game before, or we've had a game with a similar title, because I was like, that's creepy, and it was about like creeping on your neighbor, and I was like, that's creepy, and that's what it was.
Yeah, Tropical was like, oh yeah, I played this game about peeping neighbors or something, and I was like, oh, that's not weird at all. It's cool.
Let's all get real here. fuck Super Smash Bros. Let's play a game where your neighbor tries to kidnap you and is peeping on you. And I'm pretty sure like your fail state is when he catches you. You know, like,
Although, I guess this is a prequel.
What?
oh, I want to see that
How
scene.
he got his start to darkness.
How he got his start.
He's like, it all began when I. It's like, oh,
Sequel. A 32-year-old guy in therapy.
super creeper. It's like I wasn't always creepy. It all started this one time.
Oh man.
Oh my! The box art. So it's the creepy guy in the bedroom doorway, but he's not creepy looking yet. He's looking at two kids, presumably his own, and they have a doll arranged on the ground, and the boy is drawing a chalk outline around it, and the girl is squirting ketchup around its head.
Oh, so even his children are. All right. So the whole family's just a bunch of crazy people. Wonderful.
It's rated T for teen.
Is it only teen? I guess you don't get to see what happens after you get kidnapped, so I guess that makes it not M-rated yet.
No, that's your fail state. As soon as you get caught, it all goes black.
Yay!
And finally, December 7th, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds launches on PS4.
No.
Double no. Not into the battle royale.
I'm gonna give this one a maybe. Because I'm interested. I want to see how it runs, but I don't think it's gonna be good. I mean, it was terrible on Xbox, and I mean this brings up a lot of sore moments for me about like DayZ and how 4 years ago they said they were coming to PS4, and last I think E3 they're like, oh, we're coming to Xbox too. Fuck yeah! How can you make that proclamation? You never came to PS4. But we'll see. We'll see how PUBG runs.
Yeah, I'm curious about this one.
You would be.
Of
Is
course.
It free? Right? It's free to play?
No,
Oh.
no, it's not.
Wait, what?
That's why it's not a yes. This is probably going to be a $40 launch, like on our other systems.
Is it $40? I thought it was $30.
Maybe it's, yeah. I don't remember actually.
If it's $40, that might be a hard pass.
It's pretty rough on the same console as Fortnite.
Just trust me, it was in rough condition on that Xbox One.
Then we are on to December 11th. First one here is Double Switch 25th Anniversary Edition for PS4 and PC.
What? Double
Well,
Switch?
that's just a very confusing name.
I don't even know what that is.
25th Anniversary.
Oh, come on, you guys don't remember the long story, 25-year history of Double Switch?
I have never heard of this in my life.
I have not.
Double Switch 20. What? Is this a joke? Is it really
Nope.
a 25-year-old game?
Nope.
Huh. Task.
I have never heard of this, so
I think they're just
no.
pretending, and it's like, haha, we were really popular back in the day, and they weren't. It's just trying to capitalize on some sort of name brand recognition that doesn't exist. It's a lie. It's a lie.
The first 10 words are Eddie is locked in the basement of his apartment complex.
Oh,
Double
oh
Switch.
dear.
Okay. Yeah.
At least it's a complete sentence.
I mean, I guess.
Wait, no one knows what this is?
I have no idea.
Oh man, I just looked it up.
It's like,
It's one of those where it ties in like real video. Like
yeah.
it looks like video from the early 1990s.
So it's like an FMV game?
Yeah, it's the people who released Night Trap again.
That.
This is a different
okay.
but similar
Nobody
thing.
knows about Double Switch or Double Stitch or whatever. Like, it's not Night Trap. It's
Two
not, it's
switches.
not Dragon's Lair. It's not-
Together.
That's like releasing some sort of like Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy, like legendary anniversary edition when like people really only knew about Quantum Dream after Heavy Rain. It's like, what's this game? It's like Yeah, that's weird to me, man. Or it's like, like the developers who made like a cool, awesome second game that like their first game was crap. It's like that game, yeah. But like 25 years later, it's like, did you know about the blah 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 before blah blah blah?
I don't think any of those games, the FME games, were good. They're all oddities,
Yeah, nobody's gonna.
and that stuff is like some
sewer-
people will buy that now.
Sewer Shark or Cyber Shark or whatever. Yeah.
Wow, December 11th. That's a lot of games too.
Oh my gosh, Tropical. A lot of games this month. I thought there were not a lot of games in December.
Yeah, this is crazy. Like this is
We're only in the
a
first
lot more
week.
games than I thought usually release in December. But it's a lot of games. I mean,
Weird.
indies, but there's a lot of boxed ones also. So this next one is Kingdom Two Crowns for PS4. Oh wait, it's not. Never mind. Moving on. Desert Child for PS4, PC, and Switch.
I do not know what this is.
Desert Child is a racing RPG set in a dusty world where
What? That sounds actually.
This
interesting.
sounds interesting.
Last time I played a racing RPG game, it was the Tokyo Extreme Racer series, and I liked it, and they stopped making them, and this could maybe fill that void. I don't know. Or not. If it's not in cars, and they're on foot, that's kind of weird, but yeah.
Well, that would be weird. How would you
a
race,
desert
like
foot race.
I mean, in my mind, from that description, that's what I got, is like you're in the desert racing on foot, and just like trying to survive.
Oh my goodness. I mean, do the description thingy.
He just did, didn't he?
That was the description. Desert
That was all
Child
10?
is a
Oh,
racing
no.
RPG set in a dusty world.
I mean, I like the idea of an RPG, but I don't know how I feel about a racing game. I'm very conflicted right now. Very conflicted. I'm thinking about my Animal XCOM game, so it's fine.
All right. Then it's Gungrave VR for PS4.
No, that one.
An actual
Just doesn't.
another cel-shaded action game like that would be cool though, like the non-VR version back in the day. I think that's what this is, though, so maybe.
I'm not sure what this is actually. I think it's a sequel.
It looked very actiony from the trailer they showed.
Yeah.
That one trailer. So maybe, if it's cool and Japanesey and actiony, that would be cool.
I want to see more like anime stuff in VR. It's really weird.
Yeah, there's no Gundam VR. That's a weird thing. You'd think there'd be a Gundam VR, but there's not.
Why would you want to play Gundam in VR?
Why wouldn't
Then
your
you can't
RPG
see.
giant
Then you
robots?
can't see the sweet, sweet robot that
You
you're
could
piloting.
be in the pilot seat. What would be better than that? I'm just saying. Or like
Seeing the sweet, sweet robot you're piloting.
or like a Robotech series where you could actually get to pilot the Veritech and like be in the thing, doing the thing, and like the half transform form, or robot form, or plane form. That'd be great.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, and it had the music, and it'd be all like like action style sequences. Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, that might just be me, but I really like giant robots and fighting in them. So I would not mind a VR thing like that. That'd be great. I mean, I even
It's
bought
coming.
the Valkyrie one. Yeah, so yeah.
I'll still hold out for that Voltron game.
Man, we've been holding off for that for a long time.
One of these days we'll get to pilot a leg. And when that happens,
I'll tell you after the show. Or maybe I'll tell you after the segment. The next one is SON for
Son.
PS4.
Mm-hmm.
I would have just read sun, but there's like dots, periods in between, so...
That doesn't change the fact that it spells out sun.
All right, it's for PS4.
That's the description.
Sun is an epic psychological survival horror game set in.
Wow, you know, at first I was like, whatever, and like completely blowing this off, but when you said psychological survival horror, it's like, haven't had a lot of
I
those
do like
recently.
I like psychological horror game or horror movies, so maybe I like whatever this might be. Although I like watching the movies, not necessarily playing the games. So,
I'm gonna say that's a pass because it's just that's such a hard genre to pull off.
One of you guys buy it and stream it so I can watch it.
I'll get to the title screen and be like, nope.
Oh, right, I keep forgetting.
Certain times of the year, but right now, no. Then we got Earth Defense Force 5 for PS4.
I have not played any of
Or
those.
4 other games of
I think I
this?
have at least one free with Plus, so pass, because I don't need more than one, really. It's just running around shooting things and being ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a pass on that too, because I haven't even played the first 20 of them, so...
Yep, gotta go catch up on those.
There are a lot of them.
But aren't they all basically like the same game, though?
But you don't want to get lost in the story.
I feel like...
Where did the spiders come from? Where did the giant frogs come from?
The mystery deepens.
So it's like an alternate take on Evangelion.
Yes, except no mech suits.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they technically weren't really
that
though, so there's...
Unless they have mech suits. I don't know. The mech suits have never been in the trailers. And then last game for December 11th is Knights of Pen and Paper 2, Deluxeist Edition.
What?
Oh, isn't that
It's for PS4.
that tabletop RPG thingy? Possibly? Maybe? Do the description.
Knights of Pen and Paper 2 is a turn-based retro style.
I think that is the one,
Wait,
because I
what is
think
the
there's the
first-
first one.
What's a retro style? Those are the first 10 words. I've never heard of retro. I mean, sure, there's like another word you didn't say, tropical, but now I'm like all thrown off thinking that's an actual genre. It's a retro style.
It's a retro style.
It's a retro style.
I think it's
What is
I
it?
think it's supposed to like because I think from what I understand, the first one is kind of like or the game itself is kind of like you're pretending like you're doing a tabletop RPG kind of thing, but then you're kind of like doing it in a video game.
So you roll dice in the game, and like you have characters move around a board in the game, and all this other stuff, but it's all in game, virtually.
Kind of, but no.
What?
All of the screenshots look like a group of characters sitting at a table and a guy standing on the other side of the table.
That's a hard pass for me, because it's like, yeah, that's if you're doing that virtually, you're doing it wrong. I'm just saying. That's, yeah, why people like RPGs and games so much more. It's like, they just kind of do a better job without all the dice rolling and awkwardness.
I heard it's kind of fun though.
That's got to be a really weird concept to pull off, because it's just 5 characters sitting around a table, and the background is what's happening.
Yes, kind of. It's a weird concept apparently. I don't know. I just work here, man.
It's a retro style.
But hey, I'll give them a pat on the shoulder for trying something new. But that's gonna be pass.
I might be interested.
Cool. Let's see. The next one is something. So this is moving on to December 14th. It's something called Big Crown Showdown. It's coming to PS4, PC, and Xbox, and Switch.
Continue.
Big Crown Showdown sees friends become foes as they compete.
Sounds like some sort of either Mario Party scenario or just PvP, compete against your friends scenario. Not a big fan, so pass.
I don't like showdowns.
Yeah, this is a very Mario Party-esque, isometric,
Yeah,
Sounds
the
like it.
showdown.
it's one of those. Yeah.
Unless you got a dedicated group of people who are just ready to play this game. That's
Doesn't?
My big crown.
Well, who's
It's
ready
a
to
group
compete for
that's
the big crown?
rhymes
Right?
with crown. My big crown posse.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh my. That's the only problem with like those type of games is that if you don't have like groups and stuff to constantly play your setup or something, it's kind of just like, what's the point of this kind of thing? So
I mean, in a game like this, I want to be able to be a big detriment to the other players instead of just having to pass them up. I want to actively grief them as they go through.
I mean, yes.
I want some Mario Kart Blue Shell moments, you know?
Doesn't.
Fun. Also, December 14th, Borderlands 2 VR for
I
PS4.
gotta say, Gearbox. We've been waiting for Borderlands 3 for like a long time. And then this is whatever, man. I mean, maybe they just have to make that money back after Overwatch.
Battleborn.
Battleborn.
Poor man's Overwatch.
I'm about to say it's definitely not the same thing. One was actually not terrible.
After that wow, I can't even say it now. Battleborn fiasco. It's like, I guess you gotta recoup the cost somehow, right? So
Gotta recoup the cost of that, and then also you don't have another franchise where you can siphon the money off of into your own game.
Basically, yes.
Colonial Marines, you could have been great.
Could it?
I mean, they're saying it was one mistyped letter of code that caused it to be so bad in the first place. Maybe it could have been great. We'll never know. We will never know.
Why didn't someone check that? Does no one playtest anything anymore?
Could have been Gotti. Could have been Game of the Year.
You could have been the one. You could have been the one.
Yeah, there's a dimension where that one's like Game of the Year. Every game after that, like, they're all just comparing it to Colonial Marines. Will it be as good?
Oh man, was that the start of the darkest timeline?
It was where we split. in the
In our
lightest
universe,
timeline.
Alien Colonial Marines sucked, and so
So did the rest of the timeline. In the other timeline, it's like it's one of the best games ever, and all the games are amazing. Also, we had a different president. But that aside, it's just like everyone is just happier. Meanwhile, in the
Specifically
darkest timeline,
Colonial Marines that caused Trump not to be elected.
I'm sure there's some conspiracy theory that confirms this somewhere. You just gotta find it.
Honestly, let's think about it. Colonial Marines, not a good game. Trump, not a good president. Like, the connections are there. They're there.
in that timeline, we were so busy fighting real virtual aliens that we didn't care about other aliens.
I don't know how accurate that statement is. I don't think it works like that.
Wow, it's bad. Anyway, December 17th, Nippon Marathon for PS4 and PC.
Oh, this is the one I was gonna pre-order. Yeah, with the weird shenanigans.
I don't know what that is.
Oh man, you're gonna make me read it. San, ni, ichi, hajime. Stretch your muscles and embark.
Well, that was fun.
It's basically a
Do it.
obstacle course game.
Do it
where
again.
where you compete against your friends RPG.
Oh, that sounds like I would not like that.
And there's a lot of weird Japanesiness, as you can clearly tell.
Well, I would like that.
so much weirdness.
Hmm.
You will not believe.
Wait, what is this? What is this called?
It's called Nippon Marathon.
It's called what now?
Nippon Marathon.
Oh, Nippon Marathon. What's the description again?
In English, 3,
No.
2, 1.
No, that's not genuine.
San, ni, ichi, hajime! Stretch your muscles and embark.
Man,
I am
it
happy
hits
now.
the spot.
I have been satisfied now. You may continue.
December 18th, Warhammer, Vermintide 2
Was this
for
the,
PS4.
Left 4 Dead one? Or is this something
Yeah. This one basically Left 4 Dead with the rats from Warhammer. Those zombies. Looks fun. Looks fun enough.
Well, I guess since PlayStation never got Left 4 Dead, ... a nice substitute.
Well, now neither is Xbox anymore, so I can live content with that.
We all got Payday.
Ew, Tropical. Yeah, that is like a slap in the face. To me, it's like every time someone like mentions, "Oh, the grinding in game XYZ is so," it's like, have you played Payday, mother effer? Because it's like it's atrocious in that game. It is torturous and horrendous and abhorrent and just like just to get the progress, like your XP bar goes up so low after like each mission, and it's just it stops being fun so fast, and it's just like, why is it designed this way to grind? And it just I can never get to max level on any of that crap. It stopped being fun so fast. It just never again. Payday 3, if you exist, I will not play you. That's me in the future.
Nah, don't worry. We got Overkill's The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah. Or Earthfall is one of those I hear.
I feel like with the gaming industry, they go in trends every so often, and this year is the trend of the 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
So we got Overkill, The Walking Dead, Earthfall, that one about the Swedish people fighting machines. Forget what that one's called.
I feel like you just made that one up.
No, that's a real one. That's a real one.
Yeah, and then you had Fallout 76.
Fallout
Which
76.
isn't Borderlands 3 at all, but hey, whatever.
There's World War Z as well.
Oh yeah, forgot about that one.
Ah.
There's a ton out there that are just the 4-player kind of co-op ones.
Division 2 as well,
Yep. Well, eventually.
yeah. I mean, also Anthem. I mean, I guess, like, you know, to like rope in games like that, it's like the Destiny Light. But not. It's like, chase that dragon, guys, chase that dragon.
Oh,
That sounds
I
like
found
a
it.
truck reference.
I found it. I looked up Swedish people fighting machines PS4. It's called Generation Zero.
God, I love the internet.
Yeah.
Because I think I did that recently with someone else when I was like, let me look up so and so, and I wrote like this whole phrase, and I was like, see, yeah, it is amazing.
Google knows what I'm talking about.
No matter what.
Watching me for the past 10 years, they know what I'm about.
It's true. It's true. I've been getting so much marketing advertised towards me. I'm just like, listen, I already know you're watching me. Don't make it so obvious.
Direct marketing algorithm.
Basically, yes. I've been getting so many air fryer advertisements on Hulu at this point. I'm just like, guys, I already bought it. It's too late. Too late. Stop it. So that's been fun.
Okay, so that was the last game that has a set date. These two are Switch games coming out in December, supposedly, but we don't know when yet exactly. So the first one is Katamari Damacy Reroll for
There's new
Switch.
Katamari. Oh, it's Switch. Never mind.
Well, never mind. You have a Switch.
You can't fake Switch like that. They need it. They need a win.
You have a Switch. Why would you say no to that?
Because I'd rather play it on PS4 RPG. Did you not hear my entire rant in the second segment?
I did, but
Or the
I
first
stopped
part of it?
listening halfway through it.
Oh, well, good for you.
Because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let him badmouth these people. You did. But you badmouth them anyway.
Hey, I bought 4Kids on Switch, and they came to PS4, where it has even more features. I'm just saying. Why didn't I just wait to get it then?
Because you didn't know. You didn't know.
I mean, there's a 30% chance. Maybe more like 60, but still, it's an indie game. You never know.
Just give him a chance, okay?
And then the last one is something called Treasure Stack. It's coming out on Switch, Xbox One, and PC.
I don't know what this is.
That's not PS4 at all, Tropical. That's wow, good job. Good job, you.
I said the last ones were Switches.
Clearly
Switch
said
games.
they
Oh,
were
I forgot that in this moment of time where I raged against something RPG maybe.
Oh, so that's my fault.
Yep.
Jerk. Not
You
paying
pushed
attention.
the button, and I was all
My
like,
gosh.
"Burp, burp, burp."
Oh my gosh. I hope it's amazing. I hope it is.
What is Treasure Stacks about? I'm pretty sure it's not amazing.
Treasure Stack takes falling block mechanics and fuses them with...
See, and you like Tetris, so don't even try to act like you're like, oh no,
falling
I'm not
block
gonna-
mechanics.
That's stupid.
That's
So-
very open to interpretation RPG.
Oh, whatever.
There's a lot of falling block games out there, I think.
Yeah, there are, and you love all of them. So
Not all of them.
love most of them.
Luminous is kind of
Yeah, but you
or
still
in my
play.
opinion, overrated. Just
I met the guy who's making Treasure Stack earlier in the year. It seems it has a pseudo NES, Super NES style look.
Interesting.
And it seemed pretty cool. People were excited to play it.
So it's a retro style.
Yes, it's a retro style looking game. It's a retro style. We have our own genres. Retro styles, love loves. I forget what the vomit everywhere and bleeding from the eyes stuff was about.
Oh,
But
dear.
I think that'll be a cool Halloween t-shirt for Aimless Podcast next year.
Oh dear.
I don't think
And then,
that's
of
a
course,
genre.
we have our other stuff like our Animiku stuff. All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Our podcast is rated R.
3 R's for rapid release responses, which we just did, and it's finished now.
Oh.
So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed that. It's always fun over here doing it. So, onto the news? Yes?
Yes.
Onto the news. First news, there was some Destiny stuff. Destiny is changing. New stuff is coming out. Do we really want to say more than that?
No.
Okay.
Say more than that. Do it.
Do you like a slow drip feed of game content into your game that you would like to play more than once a week but can't because there's not enough game content slowly drip feeded into the game that you're playing? There you go. But hey, they're listening to our feedback, but not really. Don't get me started, because that's a whole can of worms I'm not about to get into, because we're in the final segment, and I want to get this episode over with, so yeah. Just need to go off yourself.
The next thing was the PlayStation Plus lineup announced for the month of December. Games will be available from December 4th to January 1st. And those games for PS4 are Soma, the sci-fi horror title.
Actually,
From
I
the
almost
creators
bought that,
of
so it's gonna be-
Amnesia.
It's free.
Yeah.
I did buy it, and I haven't played it, so you win RPG.
Ha! Yay!
Then we also have Onrush, the action racing game from the former Evolution Studios.
Oh, isn't that the one that you're talking about, Tropical? That you
Yeah,
played? Okay,
the
cool.
the team the team racing game.
I did not buy that one, so yay for me.
That's gonna be cool. Lots of people playing Onrush, hopefully.
Why? What's the whole gimmick behind that one?
It's not really a race to the finish. It's just about driving in close proximity to other cars. So some of those cars are just fodder and they're not real players, and then the rest are real players, and like you get boost from running into other cars and like smashing them, like in Burnout. But then the goal of the game is to travel a certain distance as a team faster than the other team can.
Oh.
And it's on like a track, like a circular track.
It's got some interesting mechanics.
It's pretty cool.
Interesting.
For PS3, the first one is, I think it's called Steriden.
What?
It's a space shooter. Steriden?
Pass.
It looks like
on
stereo,
that nonsense.
but no O. Instead of O, a den.
So Steriden?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't like space shooters, so that's cool. I don't have to hook up my PS3 for that.
Yeah, it's a shmup roguelike.
What?
Ugh, all of the things. All of the things.
It's almost like you took my chocolate pie and poured cyanide in it. Thanks, Tropical. Thanks.
And then set it on fire for good measure.
It's like, shut up. Awesome. Roguelike. Ooh. Get the F out of here.
It's like, remember that one time you were having fun? Not anymore.
And the other one is Steins Gate, which is a time travel visual novel.
The anime is ridiculous. I'm only assuming that this is too. Oh, but it's on the PS3, so I mean, I don't feel like PS3 for that. I want to, but at the same time, I don't want to. I wish it was cross-buy. Why can't you be cross-buy? I could have at least played it on my Vita.
For Vita,
Is it Steins Gate?
no. The first one is actually buy with PS4. So it's Iconoclasts?
If it's not Steins Gate, I don't care.
It's a retro style. It's a retro style. It looks really good, actually.
Retro style what?
I guess platformer Metrovania type thing.
It kind of reminds me of the art style of either Splunky or Terraria.
It's better than Terraria. It's more detailed than Splunky, I think. But yeah, like the style a little bit is like Splunky. It looks really good though.
I don't believe you.
All right then. And then the other Vita game is Papers, Please.
Isn't that the immigration game?
Yep.
Yes.
The border
such
agent.
Such a good one, but it's not cross-buy with PS4.
Nope. This is a Vita one only.
Who even
And
has
it's
a PS Vita
also
anymore?
not. I do. It's also not Steins Gate. So there's that.
There is that as well.
I suppose
Why can't
so.
Steins Gate be free? Why? Why can't you be free? I mean, you are, but why can't you be on a console I actually want to play you on? Why? Why? I'm very sad. No. Oh wait. No. 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 Wait, do I? No, I don't. No, I don't. Because I was like, wait, do I already? I might already have it, but I was like, yeah, I don't have it. I don't already have it. I'm thinking of Psychopaths because that was free at one point.
Yep.
The mandatory penis. And I was like, ooh, another anime I enjoyed that is now a visual novel, so I can put people in jail for crimes they might commit. That they might commit.
And then just little stuff. Kingdom Hearts 3 is apparently done.
Sorry. Where's Babble?
Fallout 76 is apparently really buggy.
I mean, if you're a PlayStation user, you kind of are not surprised. Just saying.
He's not wrong. I mean, let's be honest. Although most of their games are usually buggy to begin with, so it's not too surprising either.
Red Dead Online has started a staggered rollout. So today is when, if you played on launch day, then you have access to Red Dead Online now. Yesterday was if you had like the deluxe edition or whatever. Oh, wait, I do have that version. So I could have played it yesterday. And then it should be out for everyone by Friday. Apparently there's some Battle Royale mode in that as well.
Everyone trying to get that Fortnite money.
And yeah, I guess the PlayStation Classic is going to be disappointing to people.
Well, yeah, we talked about that like a week or two ago. So, yeah.
But now it's news.
Yeah, I've seen people reviewing it, so
I guess it's like, well, some of the reviews I was like, why? This is not a review. I mean, it sort of is, but like your main complaint is something that you don't even need to touch it to make. It's like the game selection just isn't good. It's like, did you even need to, like, all you have to do is look at a list and then you can write an article like that. That's not a review.
No.
But yeah, no, some of the other reviews are just like, PAL versions are very weird to American audiences. Tekken 3 is a slowed down version of Tekken 3 because it's the PAL version.
Wait,
I don't know what that means.
I thought the PAL versions had higher frame rates than the US versions.
No.
What?
So PAL versions were so our versions were 60 hertz and theirs were 50 hertz, which is like 80-some% speed. And then if it's a 30 frame per second game, then it's even slower.
That's a problem.
And apparently even the non-PAL versions like don't run as well as on original hardware.
Okay, isn't the PAL version the European version, right?
Right.
Okay, that's man, what a way to drop the ball, SEA. Jeez,
It's very weird.
where's Ken Kutaragi when you need him?
Still there, apparently.
He's the one who did it. Man, what a mess.
Yep. So that's
Always
the
is.
news that I got for the week. Was there other stuff?
Wow,
Was there
there's
exciting stuff?
Nothing positive. Thanks, Travtical. I mean, I guess Plus Lineup's like, kind of neutral, but yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is done.
For RPG, that's the end of the world for us, Travtical. That's the end of the world. That's the last thing holding it together. After that, it's all, who knows what's going to happen.
And the other stuff is like rumors. So there's a rumor that there's a new Aliens game that's going to be shown at the Game Awards.
I don't talk about rumors.
Maybe you'll get lucky and like at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 there'll be like a secret sequel hook and then it'll turn out there's going to be a Kingdom Hearts 4 and then you can survive for another 20 years. Another 20 years.
I don't know if they would do that. Would they do
Listen.
that? Would they be like, we're going to make another numbered one because the last one took 10 years or more to make? Would they do that?
Listen, at this point they know that the reality is like hanging on this, so they're like, you know what? It's up to us, guys. The only thing keeping the world together.
Well, their pattern most recently has been they release lots of stuff for that game, like Final Fantasy 15, until the guy working on it doesn't want to work on it anymore, and then they cancel it.
Yeah, but they
but
didn't.
even with like Final Fantasy 13, they weren't expansions, but they were sequels
They
built
made
on the
actual
same
games
stuff.
that
Yeah.
But I don't think that's how that's going to work with this series because I mean, Final Fantasy is weird because it's not like they have an overarching story for all of them. Kind of thinks it's their own standalone titles. This would be, it's because I mean, doing a season pass for Kingdom Hearts 3 would be strange, to say the least, because they could just release a new game.
It's cheaper.
Would it be? Because with the DLC they had lined up for 15 was like 6 or 7 episodes or some nonsense like that, and then plus the comrades thing, and I mean I'm pretty sure all of that equaled out to like you buying a whole other game. So,
but they got your money first.
Just patting it out. Oh yeah,
well,
that's
they
what
didn't
just
have
tried
the
to call.
season pass, so
They collect up front, and then they'll be like, "We'll pat it out, season pass content," and they don't, and you're just left there.
well, thankfully they did not announce a season pass for this, so good. Because I mean they would have by now. It's only a month out now, or 2 months out now, so they would have announced it already. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe if it sells well enough to be like, well, we have a season pass coming, guys, because we just made this up so we can get more of your monies. So we shall see. We shall see. You got to get that Kingdom Hearts money. So.
Yeah, I don't think I saw anything in the news because I've only been looking at deals, so that's not news. Or nothing really awesome that happened or interesting.
Only things I've seen in the news are just kind of negative.
People suing Fallout 76 for refunds.
Stuff like
Really?
that, and I know with their collector's edition, there was supposed to be a burlap sack that comes with it, but they switched it out to nylon, just a cheaper material. And in one customer complaint email to them, they said, "Yeah, it just changed because it's cheaper. We can't do anything about it."
Wow. Money,
Jeez.
dear boy, money.
Money.
Huh, alright. Well, we are almost 3 hours long on this one, so I guess we can go ahead and wrap it up here
Oh my.
and sign out and sign off.
The Switch segment was longer than I thought. Oh well.
Yeah,
Not my fault.
in this week's episode, we learned the lesson to never have 2 middle segments ever again. ... There
Not my fault.
There wasn't going to be news. That was the thing.
I mean,
Yeah, because he
it's
definitely said there
true.
wasn't going to be
There
news.
was, like,
That's
not
Salt
very many
Tropical's
news
fault.
story drops.
Yeah. But I guess news is never really that long. So
It's all Tropical's fault.
Hi. All right then.
Okay, so yeah, Aimless Babble Z, aimlesspodcast.com, or whatever, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, wherever else on the internet and stuff. Anything to say before you sign off, RPG?
Kingdom Hearts.
Anything to say before we sign off, Tropical?
I heard Twitter face.
Anything to say before we sign off, Josh?
Well, I just want to say thanks for having me on, guys. It's fun to come here and talk about games for upwards of 3 hours. But yeah, thanks for having me on.
Alright, so yeah, until you hear or see from us again, Aimless Babble Z, or now signing off, go fill yourselves with whatever I said last week from playing games. Okay, that kind of sounded weird. Fill yourself with happiness
wow.
and soul
It's,
endearing
it's too late. I've alreed about Chicken Wilder.
good
so
stuff.
What's happening?
Yeah,
What's
whatever. Until next week, that was a terrible sign off.